meet Donna Adelson from Coral Springs, Florida. I want to hear all about you, Donna. Let's go.
Well, I'm a domestic coordinator.
A domestic coordinator?
Yes. I'm responsible for the activities, classes, and lessons of my son Robert, who is 16, Charlie, who is 12, Wendy, who is 10, my husband Harvey, who's in the audience, and my dog Sam.
All right. And how old is Sam?
5.
5. Well, good. Give him our best. Nice to have you here. And this vowels were ducking. Consonants are going to be words. Can we get 800? We can. All right. So I'm writing on this. Again, person is a category. Stu, still your turn. Letter, please. L. No L. Donna.
M.
Yes, there are 2 M's. Let them come up. You have 5 seconds. Person. Ellen. K. Yes, K.
Mustard maker.
Nope, still
Mustard
time.
maker.
Stu. H, please. Yes, there's 1 H. Time starts now. Person. Donna.
F.
Yes.
Mischief maker.
Yeah, that's.
Nice.
You are listening to the Roberta Glass True Crime Report, putting the true back in true crime. From New York City, Roberta Glass is now on the record. Technical difficulties. My apologies. I guess my cord decided to stop working at the key moment. The key moment. Thank you, Dark Side. Thank you, everybody. Sometimes it happens when you're going live. So let me say hi to everybody. Some things just poop out right at the key mementos. So hello, She Fly, Emily. Murder by Maestro. I have a fun show for you. Thank you. Thank you for your patience, the truth. I appreciate it. So luckily I had a spare. I was prepared. I had a spare cord ready. I just had to run and get it. So I wanted to talk about what I thought was the key takeaway from Donna Adelson's hearing yesterday, which is her final hearing before her trial, which starts August 19th. So that's when jury selection starts, August 19th for Donna Adelson's trial. Of course, we're talking about her trial for the murder of her ex-son-in-law, Dan Markel. This is a murder by hire case. And they're accusing Donna Adelson and really the Adelson family. Her son, Charlie Adelson, has already been convicted of paying the killers and being behind the plot. So it's conspiracy to commit murder conspiracy. And of course, a murder charge, because murder by hire is no different than murder. So, and her daughter, Wendy, so Donna Adelson's daughter, Wendy, and her husband, Harvey Adelson, are unindicted co-conspirators in this case. They've been referred to as such in court filings. But right now we have, for the Adelson family, we have Charlie Adelson convicted of murder and Donna Adelson set to go to trial. So what I thought was the big takeaway yesterday of the hearing, which really truthfully was a kind of ho-hum hearing. The real exciting stuff, which is all the redacted things about the quote unquote, what they refer to in these court documents as the investigation, they are keeping a tight lid on it until trial. So what has come out is that there's 2 prison snitches, Patricia Bird and Drina Bernhardt, who are going to testify that Donna was doing something in jail. What we've heard is that she was perhaps soliciting favorable testimony and writing scripts for fellow inmates to testify for her at trial with the help of Harvey Adelson. Now, Harvey Adelson's phone was tapped by the FBI during this quote-unquote investigation. And according to the defense, they came up with no evidence whatsoever. But of course, testimony is evidence. So if Drina Bernhardt, they may not have caught Donna and Harvey red-handed, and they say in these court filings that it was done with the help of her lawyers, using her lawyers' iPhones and other electronic equipment so that her phone calls wouldn't be surveilled as she was doing this. They may not have caught Harvey Adelson and Donna Adelson red-handed doing this. May not have. But Drina Bernhardt and Patricia Bird, even according to the defense, say they have consistent testimony. Very odd. Now, I mean, either a jury is going to say they made it all up for what reason, I don't know. Or that was not discussed yesterday at trial. But the defense has been desperate to throw out their testimony altogether. But the big takeaway was Donna is going to testify in her own defense, as I called it. Who called it? I've been saying for weeks, Donna's going to testify at her trial. I think Donna's going to testify at her trial. She's just too much about power and control to let her fate be left up to her lawyers. So I thought we'd talk about, I have kind of I think what is a fun show set up for today. So I wanted to talk about what her testimony may sound like. I think from the court filings, it looks like she's going to repeat Charlie Adelson's disastrous defense. So it's going to be a repeat of Charlie Adelson's 2.0, we were extorted, because there's really nowhere else to go but to say that these killers that we were alleged to have hired did this on spec and then extorted us for money for some odd reason. They killed this person that we hated as a warning that if we don't pay up, I don't know, that, we are going to kill you too. Not like they went after Wendy's kids or even the family cat or dog. They're going right to Dan Markel, the person that Wendy's having huge trouble with, her ex-husband, in their finalizing, the details of their divorce. It just continues on and on and on after they're already divorced. So, hey, Wesley loves Octoberfest. What's going on? Says, hey, everybody, hit the like. Yeah, thank you. I'm a terrible self-promoter, so I appreciate the help, Wesley. It's free, and subscribe while you're at it. It's the best free thing you'll do all weekend. Thank you, Wesley. I should hire you. I appreciate it. Yeah, please subscribe, hit the like button on your way in. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what Donna's testimony is going to sound like, how she may handle some of the newer, more damning evidence. But I wanted to start off with one of the elements of yesterday's hearing, which was this idea. The defense seems desperate to identify Luis Rivera as head of the Latin Kings and to show her fear during the bump, okay, and they quote, spoiler alert, her lawyer quotes from the testimony of the undercover cop who did the bump, Oscar Jimenez, and he says, I was in character as a Latin king, but he never says it. And so I'm going to talk about the bump, first of all, and as being a main issue for Donna's defense. Is a serious problem for Donna's defense, and where I think there might be some issues with where they're going with it. So let's take a look at yesterday's hearing. And my apologies, the sound was just terrible. I tried to make it better in my own video, and I, just with the video of it, and I really couldn't improve upon it. There was someone complaining about me typing all through the video. That's the court reporter. Just a heads up, that's the court reporter typing. I don't know why it came up so loudly on this particular video, but take a listen. So here's where her own lawyer talks about the issue of how they can identify Luis Rivera as a Latin king or head of the Latin kings. Take a listen.
Mr. Zellman.
Yes, Your Honor. This goes in part to the theory of the defense and why Mrs. Adelson acted the way she did, the language that she used on the 2016 wire calls. Typically, I know that we would want to have the foundation through her testimony for that, but if the court were to bind our hands in questioning the state's witnesses, it would be too late to wait until she testifies. We would lose the ability to cross the state's witnesses on that issue. It's very limited. You have Luis Rivera. There will only be a few questions at most. Potentially Charlie Adelson, depending on when the state calls him. Certainly special agents.
Jimenez.
I believe it's Jimenez.
Now, in the last trial, he outright testified that he was, I guess, at least pretending or trying to influence your client as a member of the Latin Kings gang.
Yes, sir.
All right. To that end, Ms. Kappelman, what is your argument?
Same as my argument has always been on this issue, Judge, which is that Rivera was a gang member. That's why he was recruited to do this. I think that's relevant. But the fact that he was a leader of a specific gang, I think is just bad character evidence that doesn't lend anything additional, more prejudicial than probative, and I would ask to exclude those details.
Similar to what we had in the last trial, as to this painting character of Mr. Rivera specifically in a negative light, the court's ruling will remain the same. As to the witnesses, though, Mr. Jimenez or other witnesses that may present this topic unsolicited on their directs, once the horse is out of the barn, it's out of the barn. As far as any cross-examination of Mr. Rivera specifically, the defense may cross-examine Mr. Rivera as to his role as a gang member and why he was recruited into this matter to specifically serve a purpose as it relates to the conspiracy of the killing of Dan Markell. Now, with regard to undercover or the former undercover agent, Ms. Kappelman, this is where I believe the analysis begins to diverge on this topic. He specifically approached the defendant as a Latin King member, correct?
No, sir. My recollection is, and I know that was his testimony, but I would instruct him not to say Latin King in future. However, he didn't say anything to Ms. Adelson about being a Latin King. I guess that was his version of acting like a gang member. I don't know how well he did, because Adelson didn't seem to think he did very well. But that was the intention. He did not represent himself to her verbally as a Latin King gang member. He was not wearing any clothing or other signifiers that he was a member of a specific gang.
Right. And if you notice his demeanor, we're going to look at it in a second. His demeanor was particularly unmenacing in his approach. So for Donna Adelson, the first thing, I mean, they're going to use her first line, which is, "Oh, you scared me." And the undercover goes, "Oh, I didn't mean to scare you," like laughing. Couldn't be more polite. Even Donna says on the phone he wasn't threatening. So if they're going to say that Donna was in horrible fear, there's a problem here, a major problem here in this defense. Because why didn't she pay it if she was in horrible fear right away? $5,000 is nothing for this. But instead they have a zillion phone calls. Yet Charlie Adelson, the minute 5 foot nothing, Catherine McManawa mentions that she wants $130 something thousand, he just hands it over. It's a problem there. With no threat, I mean, it's just an idea at that point. I mean, this is a massive problem in her defense here.
The idea was just, you're an associate of this killer who is a gang member.
In response on that topic, Mr. Zeldin.
Just looking at his previous testimony. My role, I'll quote from page 1067 of the trial transcript of Mr. Charlie Adelson's case. Starting at line 20, question, can you explain what that operation was? Answer, my role in the operation, I was portraying a Latin King gang member and I was instructed to conduct the bomb. Continuing on 1068, question is already, when you say you were posing as a Latin King gang member, did you announce yourself as a Latin King gang member pushing your approach? I did not, okay. So you're just, that's the role, that was my role. You're a character, that is correct. That is his testimony. And you know, I believe that once, especially with the call that my client made to the undercover on May 6th of 2014, when he became verbally aggressive towards my client, that factors into his role as a Latin King gang member. And I know.
Okay, so let's talk about that verbal aggression. So one of the things they're talking about is verbally aggressive. I mean, we can go over the phone call. I didn't have plans to do it, but I mean, it's pretty much like Donna we've been over it really recently, but Donna going, it's not me, it's not me. You know, never hanging up, never really putting your foot down, always allowing the conversation to continue. If you're not in it, you make it very clear that you weren't a part of it. You don't know anything about it. You're horrified by it. You're going to the police. Sorry, bye. But here's a text message so you don't take me serious. You thinking I'm playing. You have some person call me or to see if I'm for real. If you think what Katie's baby daddy did for you can't come back, you're effing crazy. So this is the text message Donna got. If you think what Katie's baby daddy did for you can't come back, you're effing crazy. I want the money now or I'm going after the $100K. So the $100K was the money, the reward money from the police. So the fear is that they're going to drop the dime on you to the police. And Donna, ever the poker player, in that phone call is like, do it. You should go to the police if you have information. Well, yeah, I do have information about you. I mean, it's so arrogant. Like, go to the police. I dare you. They're going to believe your word over mine. Me, Donna, in a good standing. I'm a upstanding member of society. They're going to believe you over me. I'm an actress. I'll put on an act. So, I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, she's like negotiating with this guy. She doesn't sound in terrible fear. Like, sorry, I'm calling you late. I had to deal with my grandkids. She's putting on this act. I'm a grandmother and grandmotherly person who knows nothing about this. But the fear isn't that the Latin Kings, I mean, what they're trying to establish here is that they were afraid the Latin Kings were going to kill them. In the bump. They're talking about the bump. Come on. Got verbally aggressive with your client that they were going to go to the police. A problem. It's a big problem for Donna.
In the previous year and last year, Your Honor questioned whether there was a difference between a Latin King gang member and simply a gang member. The answer is absolutely. In Miami, in South Florida, there is absolutely a difference between a gang member and a Latin King gang member.
Even with that being said, this ultimately goes to your client's state of mind, who is going to establish how she knows the difference between, forgive the pun, the garden variety gang member and a specific gang member.
I think between her testimony and anticipated testimony of Charlie Adelson.
Well, as to the questioning,
Where's the pun there? A garden variety gang member? Where's the pun? Am I missing something right in front of my face?
the former undercover officer or special agent Jimenez will permit the defense to question the former special agent as to whether he is portraying a member of a specific gang as a part of his bump operation. Depending on what the answer is, we will revisit the issue of whether the name of Latin Kings needs to be specifically uttered. As to either Mrs. Adelson or Charlie Adelson testifying concerning her state of mind and knowledge of the Latin Kings, as it goes to state of mind, the defense may certainly inquire as to that during the defense case in chief. As to Luis Rivera, the court's ruling will remain the same as to his leadership role or specific affiliation. The fact that he is a gang member may be inquired into, and the fact that he has had, or the fact that he had, or his role while he was recruited in this case, that certainly is ripe for cross-examination and may be inquired into. But as to him being a specific Latin king, that is where the line is going to be drawn.
Okay. So did everybody get that? So no mention, but he goes on to say, once the cat's out of the bag, it's out of the bag. Okay. So let's look. This is a good time to look at the bump in Donna Adelson's attitude during the bump. This is from Charlie's trial's testimony. It's much more specific. I played Sanford's testimony during Katie's trial, and it was a lot less specific to Donna. So let's take a listen.
Select Donna Adelson to be the recipient of this bump?
Because we noticed the pattern of calls leading up to the murder and around the time of the murder. The calls were always Donna Adelson to Charlie Adelson to Catherine Magbanwa to Sigfrido Garcia and then back. It was always going back and forth pretty much in that order. So we wanted to start it on one end and see what would happen, see if it would travel that same line of people.
All right, Judge, at this time, I'd like to publish States 105, the bump video.
You may proceed.
Yes, please.
Black shorts. What is it?
Pause it for just a moment. All right, so on the left side of the screen, we've got two different things going on here. Can you explain what we're looking at?
Yes, on the left side is a body.
I'm so surprised that we haven't had anybody with like the scream name Black Shorts. What is it? We've had everything else from my moderator, your latex spouse, to other references in this case. But nobody's taken Black Shorts. What is it?
Recorder that the undercover agent was wearing, and it has video and audio on it. So what you're hearing is audio coming from the undercover agent and his video. On the right side is a separate video taken from surveillance agents that were in the area watching.
All right, so the woman we're seeing on the stairs here, is that Donna Adelson?
It is, and she's exiting the Icon, which is on South Beach, her condominium. That's the stairs coming from her condominium toward the street.
All right, please proceed.
Okay, bud.
Excuse me, Mrs. Adelson? How you doing? Just want to give you this. Listen. Good, don't be scared. Listen, just want to let you know that we know that your family has been taking care of Katie and her friend Sudol for quite some time after your problem up north has been resolved. And I want to let you know that my brother, he's incarcerated. He helped your family with this problem you guys had up north. And we want to make sure that he's going through some rough times. We want to make sure that you take care of what he's going through, the way you're taking care of Katie and Sudol. Well, this will explain it. Thank you.
Look at the speed to which Donna starts walking after this. That top that Donna's wearing is so iconic now in true crime. It is so ugly. I mean, that's just my taste, but boy.
Where does Mrs. Adelson go after the conclusion of the bump?
She goes into the elementary school there, to the door to the right, goes inside and retrieves the children, and then goes back to the Icon back across the street.
And are they?
Right. So she's terribly in fear, but she gets her grandkids. Does she run into, does she change her route home? Does she run into, I don't know. Does she wait at the school till someone can escort her home to keep her safe? Nothing changes. I mean, she's really in fear. She's going to put her grandkids. I think something's going to happen to her grandkids. She knows this scary Latin King member is around, or has just been around, is following her, knows her habits. Really? They got problems. They got problems here. And then of course we have the phone call. So I think this is going to be an issue. in this trial to establish fear, and Donna's going to testify to it. And I think she's going to do very well she could do, very well as far as she's going to bring her C- acting. And she's going to come off like the person, the person that she is, arrogant. And it's going to a lot of be, woe is me, my health. They're going to start out the same way they started out in Charlie's trial about her raising 3 kids and blah, blah, blah. Losing her money in a Ponzi scheme. Oh. And working her way out of it, hardships, she's been up against it. She's every grandma. That's how they're going to play it. But they're really going to play up her age, the fact that she's a mother and a grandmother. And they're hoping, the irony also of this trial is that Donna is expecting Charlie to come testify and back up. So reiterate his story to back up her story. Meanwhile, when Charlie Adelson had a trial, she was called to testify, and so was Harvey. And they said, look, we're going to plead the fifth. Don't call us. They came nowhere near the entire courthouse. It had nothing to do with it. But when it's her trial, she wants her son's support. But up against it all, that's all he has now is a few friends and family members. Because everyone else, he's in prison. Everyone else is, who else is going to fill his commissary? Oh, gosh. So they're going to reiterate this fairy tale. It's going to be, I think Charlie Adelson's testimony is going to be interesting. I think Robert Adelson's testimony is going to be more interesting. But to give you an idea what it could sound like when Donna Adelson testifies, we only have to, because it is 2.0, and I'll skip past Charlie Adelson. I mean, he went on for hours, his direct. I'll save you the direct. But it was like, oh, I worked so hard in school. I worked my way up in dental school. It was hard for me. I studied hard. I had lots of student loans. I didn't really care all that much about what happened to Wendy and her divorce. I had my own life. That kind of stuff. But when it came to my mother suggesting these crazy things in her emails, I was like, good. Give it to him. Give him a lot of grief. That didn't make him likable. He was just arrogant and unlikable on the stand. I think Donna will be very similar, but we're going to hear a very similar story and a very similar cross. So I thought this would be a good time to review Charlie Adelson's cross, since Donna Adelson, her testimony is Charlie Adelson's 2.0. So let's take a look. I sped this up just a little bit.
Mr. Adelson, is it doctor?
It is, yes.
All right, doctor. Have you ever heard the saying that the simplest explanation is always the most likely? Have you heard that?
I've heard that theory before, yeah.
Was your explanation to the jury over the last little over a day the simplest explanation?
It was the truth.
You have a thorough explanation. Would you agree with that?
I told you what happened.
Do you agree that the only problem with having an explanation for everything is that there's just so many explanations?
There's no explanation. I explained what happened.
I want to go through some of that. You claim that you were extorted on July 18th, 2014 by Catherine McDaniel, and also in the background, some Latin kings, probably Garcia and Rivera, right? Is that accurate?
No, I wasn't extorted by Catherine McDaniel.
You weren't?
That's not what I believed in 2014.
Okay, I'm sorry. I understood you to say you believe that today.
Today I do, yes.
All right, so who extorted you?
I believe that it was Catherine McDaniel's friend that she ran her mouth to.
Okay.
And that's 2014.
Right, but as you sit here today, you think it's McDaniel, Garcia, and Rivera. Is that accurate?
No, that's not accurate.
Okay. Who extorted you?
As I sit here today, I believe that it was Catherine McDaniel, and I believe Sigfredo Garcia, but I don't know for sure. I was never there when she was ever talking to him. So I don't know if he was in on it with her or not.
All right. At the time, though, you did not think she was guilty. You got that right. The time of the
In
extortion.
2014?
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. And then so exactly when you found out would be, I think you said her trial.
That I suspected that she was not telling me the truth and she was a part of it was in 2019.
At her trial.
Yes.
All right. And so she was arrested in 2016, right?
Yes.
All right. So for 3 years, she was in the Leon County Jail awaiting trial. Yes.
She was there.
And you believed she was innocent.
Yes.
And you had this whole explanation to assist with exonerating her, right?
I have the truth of what happened. Yes.
But you didn't offer the truth of what happened, did you?
Nobody came to me. I thought the truth would come out.
Does someone have to come to you?
I was told not to talk to Katie and not to talk to anybody about this case by counsel.
That was such a strong point by Georgia Kappelman here. You're sitting watching an innocent woman get prosecuted for murder and you're saying nothing.
Okay. So you strike that.
So when he first started testifying, the entire gallery was packed full of people, both sides. Then by the end, the thrill was gone. By the time cross-examination came round, the thrill was gone. People had had enough.
On day one, which is July 18th, 2014, she is the only one that physically contacted you to conduct this extortion. Am I correct in that?
Yes, you are.
So you never actually had any contact with any Latin King?
No.
No phone calls?
No phone calls.
No texts?
No.
No letters?
Well, in 2016, you're talking about in 14, right?
I'm talking about the first layer of the extortion. Did you have any contact with the thugs that were getting your money for 2 years?
No.
Did anybody put a gun to your head?
I was told that I would be killed in 48 hours if I didn't pay up.
I heard you say that.
48 hours. 48 hours. Where did he come up with that? But meanwhile, they're given $5,000. They want $5,000. And the family's got to have a family meeting over $5,000. They're going to drop a dime. Kitty's 1993 says, I love how he supposedly knows she extorted him, but they continue to grow closer. That is some of my favorite testimony, too. He was actually going to make his own Lifetime movie. I fell in love with my extortionist. That unfortunately fell through. I'm just kidding. My affair with my extortionist. So romantic, isn't it?
But my question is, did anyone put a gun to your head?
You're asking, did anyone pull a gun on me?
That's what
Is
I
that your
asked you.
question? No, nobody pulled a firearm on me.
All right, so when Catherine Magbanua came to you on July 18th and said, open the safe and give me all your money, she was not armed.
She was not carrying a gun that day,
And
no.
were you armed at that time? Did you have a weapon in your home?
I had weapons in my safe, yes.
Were you led to believe or told that the bad guys are outside, right outside your apartment or your residence?
It's really like a Shakespearean tragedy, this thing, in some ways. By the time he was arrested, Charlie Adelson, they said he had, my memory of it is that he had all these guns in his apartment. And they just lived in this constant fear, paranoia. And Donna Adelson, too, was saying Dan Markel was haunting her from the grave. That's June Mchada, Charlie Adelson's other ex who testified, who said she was still in love with him when she testified at his trial. Said that it's such a perfect thing for Donna Adelson to say, because it's nothing that ever she did. All her actions are perfect. These horrible things that happen are because of other people or supernatural events. Dan Markel is haunting her from the grave. Dan Markel is making it happen. He was so awful, he made us kill him. And now he's haunting us from the grave. Things are going so terribly. She couldn't sleep. She couldn't eat. So you see when she gets arrested, although she is very helped by substances, can see the, like, she seems like more, there seemed to be some kind of peace that the worst had happened. The fear that she'd been living with just finally happened. She finally got arrested and had to face responsibility for, she doesn't see it this way, but face responsibility for murdering Dan Markel. She sees it as the terrible thing that Dan Markel is making happen. His ghost. Her family is cursed. She said that. Our family is cursed. We're cursed. She said that. So again, it's like a supernatural thing that's happening to her family. My son, I don't talk to. My one son is in prison. Might as well be dead. And my daughter, who I love, doesn't talk to me. That's Donna on the phone. So everything bad is happening to her. It's just happening randomly.
No, but I was led to believe what they did to Dan, they were going to do to me.
I heard you say that, but my question is, did she say, like, the car is running, I'm going to take the money out there to him right now?
No, she never told me that they were waiting for me outside my house.
In fact, she stayed the night with you, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
And didn't exit your house with your $138,000 until the next day, right?
Correct.
And the money, the $138,000, was that stapled into $1,000 increments?
Each packet was $1,000, and they had a staple in it.
And stapling money's a little unusual. Would you agree with that?
For me, it wasn't unusual. That's what I did.
Right, but nobody else does it. That's why I'm suggesting it's unusual.
I've never questioned people into how they keep their money, whether they keep it with a staple or a paper clip or an envelope. I just know what I do.
Would you agree, doctor, that it's a compelling piece of evidence that the killers were paid?
He doesn't think it's unusual. He's never come across anyone who staples their money. I mean, that's essentially what he's saying, but he just knows what he does. He's not aware. He doesn't run into a lot of people. Like when he takes someone out to dinner and he says, they both say we're going to pay at the same time. They pull out their cash and lo and behold, it's stapled. They don't go, you staple your money too? Wow. I just know what I do. Stupid answer.
And stapled money and came up with that information in this case.
It's not compelling. The people who extorted me and got my money got it from my house, and it was stapled at my house.
They had to have gotten it from you, right? Because it was stapled.
If they got it from Katie, they got it from me.
So it had to be some kind of, I paid, but I did it under duress, based on that piece of evidence, right? That had to be built into your defense.
I was extorted, and I paid the money.
All right, so Katie comes in and she's in a panic and she tells you what's happened. And I need all the money in your safe right now. Do you suspect that maybe she's working with the police at that point? Maybe she's trying to set you up?
No, she didn't say I need all the money in their safe. That's not what she said.
Did you take all the money in your safe?
I cleaned out all the money in my safe and handed it to her.
Right. Why did you do that?
Because I was being extorted for $250,000.
But why didn't you? The bump was only $5,000, and you immediately became suspicious and questioning and had all these conversations and deliberations about what to do about it for days. When Katie comes to you, you just open the safe and give her the money, right?
That's what I did. And there's a big difference between the two.
Okay, well, the way that it was done to you, is that the way it's done?
You have to be more specific. Please.
Well, on the wire, you say repeat.
You notice Charlie Adelson doesn't get out of town. He doesn't go to a non-extradition country where they can't find him. Notice that? You notice that? When he's being hunted by the Latin Kings, he doesn't try to escape, move to a small town, become a dentist somewhere else. Thinks they're really going to hunt him down. It's bizarre. It's just such a stupid defense. I mean, I guess it's the best defense you can come up with. You're going to tailor your story to the evidence. But as you'll see in this cross, there's gaping holes.
Repeatedly, that's not the way it's done. You knew that the undercover agent was law enforcement, or at least strongly suspected, because that's not the way it's done. And my question to you is, since you're an expert on extortion, because you've been extorted before, and that's how you knew that's not the way it's done, is this the way it's done? Do extortionists send a girlfriend of their victim to collect their extortion money. Is that the way it's done, doctor?
I'm telling you what happened to me. And I was told that if I didn't pay in 48 hours, I would be killed. The person that came and extorted my mom, that was not the same approach as what happened to me.
Is that the only way? That's the only way it's done? They send the girlfriend?
It's the only time I've ever been extorted like that.
Okay. And did you hear any of the negotiate? So they come in and they say, strike. They come in and they say, we need $1/3
You need to pay $1/3
You need to pay $1/3 Why not $1 million?
Because when I had told to Katie that the $1 million.
Isn't there some kind of thing with the, oh, what am I thinking of? Something in the conspiracy culture, 33 1/3, 33 and, I mean, is he going to go there? $333,000 is pretty small for your life. They could have asked for a lot more. It was a dentist making, orthodontist. Was that what he was? Help me out again. Is it an orthodontist? Orthopedist? Or orthopedist is your feet. Is it an orthodontist or was he something else? Help me out. Anyway, so he's making tons of money, implants, all those things, but they're going to ask for that small bit of money or his life. Seriously? With all his boats he's buying, I think he talks about on the phone, he's talking about buying, this is around the bump time when they're listening to him. He's talking about buying a go-kart. I mean, he has money to throw around for a go-kart. 2016. But I guess when you're on a payment plan, it's not hard. But they're seeing all this, like Katie's seeing all this up close, all this wealth, and that's what they ask for. And then they put him on a payment plan.
Offer for Dan Markel, I said I was going to pay $1/3 And when she asked me, do you have that much money? And I said, yeah, I could pay it in cash. So she took it as I had cash, and she knew I had a ton of cash in my safe. So she thought I had the cash. I didn't have all that cash. So that's where I'm assuming they got the $1/3 from.
But the offer that she bragged about was $1 million offer. Isn't that right? That she ran her mouth about.
I was never there when she spoke to her friend.
Okay. Was it $1 million offer?
The offer was that $1 million was going to be paid, and I was going to pay $1/3.
And weren't you going to cover Wendy's third as well?
No, not at all. I was going to cover my third.
Didn't your lawyer say in opening statement that you were going to cover the whole thing for Wendy's third?
No, I was sitting here. I heard what he said. Charlie was going to pay $1/3
All right. And so the offer was $1 million offer, and that's what you told Katie, along with the fact that you were going to cover the third.
I was telling her that I was going to pay $1/3 yeah. And then one day, my sister was able to. She was going to pay me back.
And then you didn't have the amount of money that was being demanded at the time, right?
No, I only had what I had.
All right. And at that point, the blackmailer, Catherine Magbanua, negotiates some type of layaway plan for you to complete the extortion with the Latin Kings.
Okay. Katie wasn't the blackmailer, and Katie wasn't the one who was extorting me.
Didn't you just tell this jury that Katie was the blackmailer? You realized it in 2019.
I had thought that when you were just talking, you were talking about 2014. You were talking about that night. Okay. So yeah, that's night happened in 2014.
Okay. We all know now, because you have revealed the puzzle piece, she's a blackmailer. Can we agree on that?
I believe sitting here in 2023
yes.
that she was in on the extortion for sure.
Yes. So is it okay if I refer to her as a blackmailer?
I think there's a difference between blackmail and extortion, but yeah,
okay.
Sitting here today, we can. Sure.
We'll refer to her as an extortionist. So this.
Thank you, periodontist. Thank you. Okay.
Woman, the extortionist, is going to do you a solid by negotiating with the Latin Kings for you to get on a payment plan for the extortion. Isn't that what happened?
What you're doing is you're taking what we know in 2003 and trying to say, this is what I knew in 2014.
Did she put you on a payment plan?
Yes, she said, because I didn't have the money. She said, ask me if I could pay $3,000 a month in 2014. And I said, yes, I can.
Did you hear any of the conversation where she was making these negotiations on your behalf?
No, when she said, I'm going to go check with my friend, and if that's okay with him, she took her purse, took her keys, took her cell phone. She walked out of my front door, closed the door behind her, and I sat in my living room, and she came back about 5 minutes later.
You didn't want to talk to the guy yourself?
No, I didn't even think of that. But she went outside to call him.
All right. And then
Yeah, Mr. Negotiate with Street Dudes isn't going to want to talk to the guy himself. She took her purse. I love all his little flourishes of details. Her keys. Shut the door. How much do you want to bet she did this when she was talking about her kids or some other thing? And he took those memories and used it for this.
the two of you took a Xanax and went to sleep.
Well, I took a Xanax. I don't know if she took one out of the bottle, but I definitely did.
And the next morning, she left with your money, right?
I mean, that was a real clue there when he says he didn't want to have his license at risk for giving Katie drugs, right? Controlled substances, just handing them out. So he has Katie get to the bottle and pull them out. And I thought, oh, this guy, when I heard that, I go, oh, this guy thinks he's going to get off. He's protecting his license there. Didn't work out so well. He's no longer a periodontist. Thank you. So is the word escapes me.
So that's about 8:30 the next morning.
That's July 19th, 2014.
Correct.
Let's talk about what you did that day. You did not report this to the police because you were in fear, correct?
Absolutely.
And you didn't report this to Wendy, even though, according to you, her life was in danger too, correct?
Potentially, but I planned on paying the extortion every month.
All right. But you did go to the gym that morning, right? Can we show that text, please? Were you able to go to the gym the next
I
morning?
absolutely didn't leave the house. I worked it out at Nova Southeastern Gym. You can check the gym records. I was never there.
Okay. Did you say you were going to the gym?
I said I was, yeah.
But you didn't actually go?
No.
I mean, like they're going to have gym records from years later. How many years do they think these gym records go back? Who's at the gym? But 6 months, a year, maybe if you're lucky, you can check the gym records. It's called a bluff. But I love this. I thought this was a great catch by Georgia Kappelman here. So you said you're going to go to the gym and it's a great day out, and I'm just pretending everything's okay while secretly. Yeah, right.
I didn't leave the house.
All right. So would you agree, Doctor, and we'll refresh your memory with them if we can, that the text messages that were exchanged between yourself and Catherine McBanoa on the morning after this exchange of money were inconsistent with your extortion theory?
They were inconsistent with how I was feeling.
They don't appear to look like you just gave her $138,000 under duress, do they?
She told me the last thing she said to me before she left the house is, can we just pretend like this never even happened? So when I sent her that message, I was trying to show her, like, I'm trying to forget all about it.
Yeah, you were just demonstrating to her that you would agree to pretend nothing happened, right?
Absolutely. That's what she asked me to do, and that's what I tried to do.
All right. So the text messages aren't what they appear to be. It's a beautiful day. I'm going to the pool. I'm going to the beach. I'm going to the gym. None of that is what it appears to be. It's something else.
I absolutely did not go to the gym. I was trying to show her that I was, pretending like nothing ever happened and looking past it.
And there's nothing on the wire. Oh.
Let's look at some of these text messages. For those that are listening on podcast, Charlie Adelson says, headed to the gym. Are you taking the kids to the beach? It's so nice. Hey, extortionists. Are you taking the kids to the beach? It's so nice. On your way back to the extortioners, to the guys extorting me, you might want to take your kids to the beach. Katie McBanoa says, it's beautiful, probably the pool. Nice, have fun. Ethan must be happy. I think that's a typo. It says me happy. Just got back from the something. It's covered. Hope you're doing okay. I'm okay. Thanks for asking. Just going to try to rest. I hope you're okay. Wouldn't you think text messages be like, I hope you're okay. I hope none of this was too sudden. You're feeling okay. Hate to do this to you. I don't know what you'd say if you're the middle one.
Well, those hours of you talking, there is nothing on the wire about the extortion, this layer 1 of extortion, because she told you not to talk about it, right?
She told me to never talk about anything to anyone or her. She never wanted to hear about it again.
And yesterday, in your testimony, between you and your attorney, you mentioned the word extortion 123 times. Would you take my word for that?
I'm sure it came up a lot.
Okay. But nowhere, even in the midst of this whole second extortion, it's happening again. It's an extension of the same thing. Do you mention anything about this layer 1 of the extortion? Do you?
Yes, actually, I did.
Okay.
If you pull up the video from Matsuri when I was sitting with my dad, and I said, and the funny thing is, that's what I whispered in his ear.
Right, but we can't hear that.
Right, because that's my point. I never wanted anybody to hear what had happened. I never wanted the police to come talk to me. But if you put up that video, you'll actually see me saying that it's my dad's ear, and that's why I went in and said it. And that's what we were talking.
I'm pretty sure he was talking about the murder there. That video, he identifies the camera in the undercover's bag that's filming him. And that really cuts any kind of surveillance short. It's a nothing burger video he's talking to Harvey. I mean, one of the reasons why Harvey's an unindicted co-conspirator. I mean, I don't know how anyone else is feeling, but maybe I'm wrong, but I've always been suspicious of that phone call Sigfredo makes to Harvey Adelson. It's home phone. I find that just odd. Thinking do other people believe that he really thought it was Charlie? They seem to know that it's for Donna, that Donna's involved, and Wendy. For Wendy, definitely. For the lady and her kids. So curious. Maybe he did. Maybe that's the real story, but curious about that.
Talking about at the time. So
At Matsuri, the only time you mention the extortion, it's in a whisper that is not picked up by the microphones, right?
Intentionally, yes.
Yes. And that was intentional at the time, but it sucks for your defense, right? Because that would be a huge piece of evidence.
Yeah, that's another thing. I've always think the jet ski thing, they tell it a million different ways. That jet ski thing. I'm suspicious of that too, but I may be wrong. Only Katie McManoa, Sigfredo, and Charlie know what happened. That really happened, the jet ski incident where Sigfredo was supposed to yell at Charlie and he did a K-turn and got out of there while they were on their way to jet skis. They didn't want his jet skis either, oddly. Oddly, Sigfredo knew he had jet skis and didn't want those. Didn't want his guns, didn't want any, just $330,000. $333,000
for you to show this jury, wouldn't it?
No, I think you come up with a reason why that I said it anyway.
And there's nobody to corroborate this testimony?
There is.
Okay. And the Matsuri, you talked about it again out in the parking lot, right? Wasn't that your testimony?
Yes, we spoke in the parking lot.
Okay, so you did talk about the extortion.
That's
you just didn't do it in a way that it was captured on any of the recordings in this case.
Well, we spoke when we had privacy.
Well, you had privacy on the phone, right?
When?
At least you thought you had privacy on the phone every time when you were talking on the phone for hundreds of hours on this wire.
There's always a chance that I was being listened to.
Okay. Well, there was a chance you were being listened to when you whispered in Dad's ear, right? But you said it when you were talking about it.
I whispered real quietly into his ear, so I thought I had privacy. At that point, I thought I had privacy.
And Catherine McVanoa and you discussed this first layer of extortion in the car outside of Dolce Vita too, right?
That's when I found out everything that was going on, and she opened up when I
But
confronted
if
her.
this jury could hear that conversation recorded, we would all be hearing basically what you're telling us, that there was an extortion effort that predated the undercover operation. Wouldn't we?
Because I was trying to see if Sigfredo was behind the extortion of my mom, because I knew he was behind. Always had a feeling he was behind what happened to me, and she was having this explosive fight with him, and it was going on the same exact time that my mom started getting extorted. So I thought that he was going after my mom.
Don't you wish that conversation in the car had been recorded?
You know what's funny also is if you listen to the prison tapes or the jailhouse tapes after Charlie Adelson's conviction between Donna and Charlie, he doesn't go over and over the details of his extortion. Isn't that odd? Wouldn't that be something that you would do? I mean, I know that this happened here and blah, 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 the whole details. It's almost as if he memorized a script just for testifying. What they go over is over and over again is how dumb how much the people in Tallahassee hate him, how he couldn't have a fair trial, how the trial was unfair, how Georgia Kappelman was folksy and unfair, how they had the best defense ever. Rashbaum was the best and the best jury consultant ever in the form of what I consider fraudster Josh Dubin from the Innocence Project ambassador. Mr. Never met a criminal he didn't want to help avoid conviction or help free. Guilty criminal, that guy. I mean, can't say enough bad things about him. And then they go over again how he wouldn't be convicted if it hadn't been for Wendy driving by the crime scene and, quote, leaving her alibi. He refers to the TV repair as an alibi multiple times. Who calls it an alibi? Who needs an alibi when you're innocent, like Wendy is? And how it was really just a coincidence, how people don't believe coincidences, but he's just a victim, again, like Donna, a victim of coincidences, that just everything bad just happens to him. It's nothing he does. And if it weren't for Wendy driving by the crime scene an hour after it happened and Donna Adelson writing crazy emails and doing way too much TV talk, as he puts it, there was just too much TV talk, he would be home now and he wouldn't have to be asking for all his commissary that he gave away before the verdict came down, thinking he was going to go home. He wouldn't be asking for it back.
I don't know.
Wouldn't it prove your theory?
Yeah.
That you're talking about, the
If I
prior
think about
extortion.
it, then you know exactly what happened back then.
But unfortunately, it wasn't recorded. And then everything that was recorded inside the restaurant, you don't mention it, right?
I'm speaking very carefully. I mean, and I was still, even when I was in the car with Katie, she was doing most of the talking. That was the first time she really opened up, and I think I caught her off guard. I was still, even when I spoke to her in the car, I was real careful. I said, was T behind what happened to me? Like, I wouldn't even say the words to her when I was in the car.
Okay, was T behind what happened to me? Do you say anything anywhere on the wire about referencing what happened to me? Meaning what happened to me before?
No, because that was the only time I ever confronted her. But I
Apparently, he's still afraid of saying extortion. He mentions extortion 123 times in his testimony, in his direct, but not one time post-conviction. Odd. I was extorted. I was convicted of something, of a murder that was done on spec. Never said. Said Charlie Adelson, never. They just wanted my money. And murdering Danny was on spec, strangely, a guy who everyone in my family hated, except Robert. It was the best way to get money from me. They couldn't come and just rob me. Strangely, Luis Rivera said, why don't we just rob Danny? That was his thing. He was into robbing people. They rob a guy going down there on a cocaine deal he set up for as a favor. Remember that testimony? They love to rob. Why didn't they just rob him? They could have gotten everything they wanted without having to ever face a life sentence for murder. burglary, a little bit shorter sentence there.
Did actually when I would be on the wire with my mom and I would say it's not the same person. Like that was in reference to what happened to me, and she
What
knew
call
that.
do you say it's not the same person?
Okay, you want to know what call? It was Tuesday, the 26th. And I said it's at the end of the call. It was a 2-minute and something call.
April 26th?
April 26th, 2016. It was a 2-minute and something call. It was towards the very end. And I go, I know it's not done like this. It's 48 hours, just enough time. It's not the same person. So you can look it up.
Okay, I'm with you. It's not the same person you were referencing as the person that blackmailed me years ago and has been blackmailing me for years.
Yeah.
That's what you meant.
It's not the same person that's extorting me, correct?
All right. So
That was, I think this is some of the worst part of his testimony that he thinks is the best, is that he's so familiar with his evidence in his case. It just makes it look like, which is what I think he did, he's tailoring his story to the evidence when you know it at such crazy detail.
I want to go back to
And so arrogant about it. You want to know which? Go back to tape number 73. That's what a guilty person does.
Wendy. Wendy is in the process of relocating from Tallahassee to South Florida, basically the day that this is going on, day after the money drop, right?
They're packing up the car. They're coming back. Yeah.
So she's going to be moving significantly closer to the killers that had threatened her life.
This what I don't she wasn't planning it wasn't a permanent move or anything that was planned. I think she took a suitcase with her.
But she's your family member, yes. She's much closer to the one they've already killed than you, right?
Say it again.
She's much closer. She's got much deeper connections to the person they've already killed. That's Dan Markell than you do.
Right, and she's about to move to the killers. So what is Donna going to say? I'm hearing from my son, Charlie, that he's getting extorted for money. I just say, pay him. Katie, I mean, she wants to paint Katie. And this is what makes it so interesting about these jailhouse snitches. She claims she had 2 snitches, Cassidy Conroy. Now I'm forgetting the other one's name. Ready, but she wanted to preserve their testimony, saying that Katie was saying things about how she set up the whole Adelson family. She was the mastermind behind it. But why not rob the whole family? Rob Charlie, rob Donna, rob Harvey, rob them all. And they have millions. I mean, what is this on a $3,000 a month ridiculousness?
Right.
I mean, there's a reason to fear for her safety because these killers have come, they've just killed Dan, and now they're saying they're going to kill another one. It could be Wendy, right?
She has no idea what's going on.
Exactly. But you let her move from Tallahassee to Miami where you knew the killers were located. That's my point. Do you agree with that?
The killers were able to find Dan Markell in Tallahassee. They have the car.
They were. But would you rather live in Tallahassee or in Miami if the killers are in Miami?
I think if these people want to find you, they'll find you. I mean, I don't think. I mean, looking at Luis Rivera, I don't think a distance would stop him.
Okay. Where did Wendy and the boys live when she first moved to South Florida?
When she first moved to South Florida, she moved in with my parents into a small apartment. They actually had to get another apartment because that one was too small.
With your parents?
She moved in with them, yeah.
And
he didn't call up his friend Scott Radius and say, let me move to Vietnam. Let's all move to Vietnam with your Vietnamese wife and she can buy me a property. Or I can live in the property that I'm investing in secretly because Americans aren't allowed to own property. I don't know when that deal went down, but it had to be after Dan's murder. Strangely, none of them said, let's move the whole family to Vietnam or we won't be victims of this extortion anymore.
I want to talk about the cameras. You bought cameras for the Adelson Institute in your home at Whale Harbor, right?
Yes.
The camera system, yeah. All right. And what about Wendy's? I guess she didn't have a place. So like wherever she was staying with your parents, were cameras installed there as well at that same time frame that you installed these cameras?
No, I never told her what happened, but they lived in a very secure building.
Isn't it true, Doctor, that you'd been planning to install those cameras for some time before the murder?
I actually already had cameras at my house. that I had installed in 2008. The technology from 2008 to 2014 had changed a lot when it came to cameras.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I think you mentioned all that on direct. I'm referring to this particular update that was done post homicide. You were in communication with this camera guy, and I think your lawyer mentioned this. You had 84 text messages with him dating back to January 20th of 2014 in regards to the update that occurred post murder. Do you agree with that?
I know. There was always talk that we were going to get cameras in the office, and we just never got around to it. When this happened, that week, within probably 3 days, I called the camera guy up and I said, I want to get cameras in my house and my new cameras for my house, and I want to get cameras in my office. How soon can you come out and do it? And then he came out, I'd say 4 or 5 days after that, bought the equipment and installed it that week.
Did you hire a private investigator to help you with this whole problem you were having?
With the extortion?
Yes.
No, I didn't tell anybody.
Did you get a bodyguard?
No, I carried a gun on me. I always sleep with a gun next to me in bed, and I carried a gun on my person and had a gun in my car at all times.
Do you recall a statement you made on the Dolce Vita recording that said you were going to start carrying a gun?
Yeah, because for a long time, after this happened, I was carrying a gun, and it's uncomfortable, and I don't always like carrying a gun. So I hadn't carried a gun in a while, and I was going to start carrying one again.
But you did say in 2016, I'm going to start carrying one.
Yeah, I carried probably for about 4 to 6 months after this happened, and I wear scrubs, so the gun that I had can kind of stick out, and it's uncomfortable. I prefer not to carry a gun.
So you quit carrying it, but during the time you were still paying the extortion money.
Yes.
All right, and the extortion money that you were paying, $3,000 a month, that wasn't going towards the principal of whatever was left on the $333,000, right? Didn't you testify to that?
Correct.
All right, so you never came up with the remaining bulk of the money that you owed.
Never.
And nobody ever came after you for that?
No, they said you could pay it all off and it'll be done, or just pay $3,000 a month. So I thought about paying the full amount.
All right, then a couple weeks later, after the initial extortion, you and Catherine Magdanua broke up, according to your direct. Do I have that right?
That's not correct.
When did you break up?
Within a week. I met her, went out to dinner, went out to eat, and I just said, this has got to end.
All right, so you broke up with her.
Yes.
Weren't you scared that if you broke up with her, that she would sick the Latin Kings on you?
No, because I had every intention of paying every month. When I broke up with her and I said, listen, I don't want to surround myself with this. I'm scared. She said that she was going to come every month and pick up the money and protect me. And she understood. I mean, our relationship was on the rocks.
But you've testified that all the gifts and stuff that you gave her were to keep her happy, right?
Yeah.
So is Wendy going to show up at this trial like she did at Charlie's trial and say the first she heard about this extortion was at Charlie's trial? I mean, here's who's on the witness list for Donna. James Todd Murphy. This is this media guy who's going to, I guess, testify that this case has gotten so much media. I don't know how that's going to help her particularly, but okay. Wendy Adelson, Susan Brotman, and Richard Chagrin. Those were the two people, if I'm right, that were there when she got that call, when she was taped saying she's going to end it all or flee. Maybe she'll get out in time. They were helping her get her affairs in order before they fled. Annie Cunningham, who's helping her close down shop, her friend. Ron Gutterson, I'm not sure who he is. Lisa Carey, Timothy Kelly, Christine Adamson, Tara Kawas, who's Marisol Descalo, who's going to say that I might testify that I think she's a substitute for Dan Rashbaum. Because I guess Dan can't testify because of all the conflicts now. But Marisol's going to say that she's free to flee to Vietnam. Tara Kawas, Katie McBanoa's lawyer, Linda Bailey, Eddie Varnes from SCORE Investigations and Consulting, or private investigator, I guess. Josiah Roloff, and sometimes he's listed as Josh Roloff, so I'm not sure which, from Roloff Digital Forensics, but here he's listed as he's an expert in digital forensics. And then there's Kelsey Guy from the same digital forensics. She testified in another case, high-profile case. Taroma Khan, Craig Isom, Jason Newland, Charles Adelson, Ufferman Law. That's who's doing his. And then all these people from the Tallahassee Police Department. Catherine McBanoa, Luis Rivera. She wants to take as her own if they don't testify, which they will. Expert witness measures attorney reasonably take to protect privileged communication. Expert to be disclosed upon retention. Custodian of records from Verizon, AT&T, and Google. All witnesses identified by the state. So, I mean, she's got a long list. I mean, I skipped past different people. Jessica Rodriguez. Felicia Hills. Bryce. Google. So, yeah, a lot of different people.
Yeah, when I realized that she's the one who's protecting me and she wasn't a part of this extortion, I had no problem keeping her happy, and I looked for things to do, nice things to do for her because she was broke.
But not worried about pissing her off by breaking up with her.
Well, our relationship was definitely on the rocks. After July 1st, when Sigfredo cut me off and threatened me and called my dad, and then she knew I didn't even invite her to my dad's birthday party, which was a family gathering with family friends on July 5th. She knew we were going to be done.
After you broke up with Catherine McBanoa a week after the murder, did you continue to talk to her?
We still communicated for sure.
Talk on the phone?
And texted, yeah.
And meet up?
No, the only time I would see her was I saw her again the end of August. She came and picked up the money, and that's when she asked me if I could put her on the books because none of this money was going to her and she needed to get health insurance for her kids. So I said, yeah, I'll do it and help you out.
And did you continue to hook up with her after the breakup? And by that, I mean, have sex with her.
There was one occasion. There was one time that we hooked up.
Okay, when was that?
I want to say it was probably about 5 months after we broke it up.
Okay, well, there was one other occasion before that in October of 2014. Do you recall that? October 9th of 2014?
That's probably the occasion I'm talking about. Because July, let me count the months: July, August, September, October. So 4 months.
Okay, and there's another one on October 15th. You remember that one?
No, I think we did hook up about one time.
Okay, well, one time on October 9th and one time on October 15th.
I thought it was one time. If it was 2 times, it's been.
Could it have been 2 times?
But no more.
Okay. And on August 25th, 14, that would have been after the breakup, right?
Yeah.
You text her, and then she replies, I don't need help. I'm good. Don't need favors, nor will I trust anyone again. Erase my number, please. Go on with your life like you did already and have been doing. Sorry we spoke today. I don't want to stress your life more. Don't do anything for me. Do you remember receiving that text from Catherine McBanoa?
Yeah, sounds familiar.
That's a pretty weird text to get from the extortionist. You're meeting her to give her money. Why is she saying erase my number?
She's not the extortionist.
On 9/11,
in 2014, I didn't think she was the extortionist.
right, but it's been revealed that she was.
In 2019, so you're taking what was known in 2019 and you're trying to say I knew what I knew in
I'm
19.
not.
Wait, so if he erases the payment, wait, so if he erases Katie McBanoa's number, right? How is he going to pay who's he going to pay his payment plans to? What plans did he have then? Surprised that wasn't asked.
I'm trying to say you knew. I'm trying to say she knew. She knew she was the extortionist. Why is she telling you to erase her number and leave her alone?
Because I broke up with her.
Exactly. On 9/14 or 9/11 of 14, she sends you hashtag bestie for life. Do you remember that?
It sounds familiar.
So did you all have some kind of reconciliation after the breakup?
No, I was probably doing a favor and making her happy with something.
On 10/6 of 2014, I love you. It makes me feel good that you care about me. I'm lucky to have you as part of my life. Do you remember sending that to her?
Yeah.
On 10/9 of 14, I mentioned
I'm so lucky that you know people who will murder my sister's ex-husband for me. That's what that's really about.
Go into the details of it. Again, 10:15, more sex talk. 10:23 of 14. Thank you again for everything you're doing for my mommy. She sends you that. What were you doing for her mother?
I don't know. I think I did a consult for her, but I didn't do anything for her mom.
Yeah, I think he gave his mom a cruise, although he says he doesn't remember. But I mean, if you look at, let me just show you this for a second. So just in relation to Donna's trial, just taking a quick. So look at the bottom of this. So this is their evidence list for the defense. So Best Buy appointment record, bump note, bump letter and text message. 2016 wire calls, 2025 wire calls. So this is what they called this investigation when they wired Harvey Adelson. And they make a big deal about, they want to show her visitation logs from Leon County, her detention facility calendars for scheduled attorney-client visits. So this supports, I mean, in a very roundabout way, the idea that her lawyers, they're going to try to prove that her lawyers weren't allowing her to go beyond being monitored by the jailhouse calls, to use their phone so they wouldn't be monitored, because attorney-client conversation is privileged, to talk to Harvey about doing whatever she was doing. Summary exhibit of jailhouse calls between Donna and Harvey Adelson from October 2024 to April 2025. So again, this supports this idea that this is going to be a huge part and a new part of something we haven't heard before, of the state's case against Donna. Again, one more time, Donna creating her own evidence. Does everybody see this? Can everybody see this back there? Let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger for you. Look at this. So, I mean, they can, and then artwork and Christmas note from Drina Bernhardt to Mrs. Adelson. They have some artwork, sounds like, from Mrs. Adelson to Drina. Apparently, they were very close. That's what's come out. I don't know if it's true or not. We're going to have to see a trial. But May 6, 2016, Donna Adelson's travel documents, visa, passport, pictures from Harvey Adelson's birthday party. Catherine McManus terrible pro offers. Photo of Mrs. Adelson's dress for grandson's bar mitzvah. Picture of Adelson's safe and its contents. Oh, I guess bury me in the dress. Oh, she's saying for her, remember, for Ben's bar mitzvah. She's saying that. I guess that's why that's important. Weather records, accident records for the trial. Oh, so they're going to say she couldn't have dropped off the money. Summary exhibit of calls between Jackie Fulford and Harvey Adelson's cellular devices. Forthcoming. There we go. There it is. Probable cause affidavit for search warrant. Interesting. All right, back to this. Back to Charlie Adelson.
2:24 of 15. You agree that she always knows how to make you smile, and you say, "I love you" to her. Remember that?
Yeah, I cared a lot about Katie, and I didn't think that she was a part of it. So I was always trying to keep her happy and make her happy. And I felt like she got dragged into something that she shouldn't have been dragged into.
Okay, maybe, but she dragged you into it as well.
I didn't see it like that at all. And our relationship actually got stronger. You know, initially when I got extorted, I had limited contact with her and I was cold to her. And then over time, I realized that she's the one who's protecting me and she's not involved with these people because the extortion never went up and Katie was always broke.
She was involved with them because she had a child with the guy, right?
I didn't know for sure it was him,
But you suspected always that it was him.
I always suspected that Sigfredo was behind this.
So wouldn't you want to distance yourself from this woman who, I mean, were you ever really that serious about her to begin with?
I mean, we spent 7-8 months together.
But you were never considering marrying her.
No, I wasn't
I
considering
mean, you were a playboy, right? You had a zillion girlfriends.
that is actually not even true.
Okay. Did you have a lot of girlfriends?
I had 2 girlfriends in the 2 or 3 years after her. I dated Whitney Kick for 9 months.
Okay, but how many women were you talking to and engaging with sexually? A lot more than Whitney Kick, right?
There could have been 1 or 2.
Or more?
No.
Okay. Point being, you were not going to marry Catherine McBanoa.
I wasn't having marriage plans, no.
Okay. And you have now broken up with her after this incident.
Yes.
She's the person that's taking the money from you physically.
She's the one. I looked at it. She's the one who's protecting me. If she wasn't, I was going to get a visit.
Is she the one that was physically taking the money?
Yes.
Is she the one that was connected to the person you suspected to have killed your brother-in-law?
I thought she was tied to that person. Yes.
And she's the one that got you into this, right? Because she ran her mouth.
And
right?
I looked at that. I ran my mouth too. And if I never said anything to her, this would never have happened. So I felt responsible for saying something to her in the first place.
But you didn't feel responsible enough to try to do anything about her sitting in jail, an innocent woman, for 3 years. Did you?
She never contacted me.
You didn't offer to testify in her trial. You let her get convicted and get life in prison, didn't you?
I thought the truth was going to come out.
But not through you.
I was never contacted. I thought it was going to come out through her.
Was there any contact between your lawyers and her lawyers?
You'd have to ask them.
You said you didn't have any contact with her. Did you have any
zero contact with her.
So your lawyers didn't tell you anything on behalf of her lawyers?
Absolutely not.
And her lawyers didn't hear anything from your lawyers?
I don't know what lawyers talk about, but I can tell you that I never talked to Katie, and I never told my lawyers.
You never relayed a message through your lawyers that the Adelson family would not be talking in this case?
Absolutely not.
And she had nothing to worry about as far as that end was concerned?
That's not true at all.
I think it is true. I think it is true.
Did you or your agent contact her brother to offer to assist with her attorney's fees in her case?
That's a complete lie.
On 10/27 of 15, you say you can't wait to get lunch with her. She's the best.
Right. But Catherine McBanoa, I trust Catherine McBanoa testified that they reached out to her brother to say, we'll pay your attorney's fees. The tight Adelsons who don't want to pay $5,000, but they want to pay Catherine McBanoa's lawyer's fees for 2 lawyers and 2 trials.
Yes. And you're lucky to have her as a friend for life. Did you say that?
Yes.
10/27/15, you can't wait to get lunch with her. 10/30/15, you tell her you miss her. 12/9 of 15, again, you tell her she's the best.
Yeah, I said all those things.
Do you agree that this picture does not look like a relationship between an extortionist and her victim?
I agree, because Katie wasn't the extortionist.
She was the extortionist.
In 2014 and
No.
2015, I didn't believe that.
I know you didn't believe it, but we're looking back now, okay?
You know, it's like if you're going to quote me, date me. Like what I knew in 2014 and what I knew in 2015 is not what I know now in 2023.
Okay, yes, I hear you. You didn't know then, and that's why you were nice to her.
Yeah, I thought she was protecting me.
Got it. And none of those factors that I pointed out weighed into that consideration, that she ran her mouth, that she brought the Latin Kings on you, she was taking the money from you. None of that counterbalanced it. You were still going to be friends with her and keep her happy.
You're wrong. I didn't know about the Latin Kings in 2014 or 2015.
All right. The love text, which is what I'm referring to all these texts where you're still nice to this person after you break up with her. You're still doing favors for this person after you break up with her. I mean, that's like a major problem for your defense, isn't it?
No, our relationship got stronger. I agree. Our relationship got stronger, but it was much different.
Isn't that why she has to be an innocent conduit between you and the bad guys? Because if those texts didn't exist, she would be the extortionist and the bad actor in this whole thing, right?
I'm not following your theory.
You have to explain away those texts, don't you, doctor?
No, I have to sit here and tell you the truth. Now you're finding it out.
Most people don't send kissy faces to people that are extorting money out of them. I mean, she was taking your money.
Again, Ms. Kappelman, she was not extorting me at the time.
That's not how it's done, is it?
I'm telling you how it was done.
So then over these next 2 years, you would meet her monthly and hand over a bundle of checks and $3,000 in cash, right?
No, you're wrong.
Okay, tell me.
I would hand
Tell me
over
I'm wrong.
$2,000 in cash and a bundle of checks.
$2,000 in cash and a bundle of checks. And so over the course of 2 years, I'm terrible at math, but that's roughly how much money? Because I think I did $3,000. It's $48,000 in cash, in addition to the $138 you provided the night of. Do you agree with that?
If your math is correct, I'm just telling you what I paid her each month.
And the checks, which is another $17,000, right?
You're doing the math.
It was a lot of money. Was it a lot of money to you?
It was a lot of money to me, yeah. I work hard.
Did the extortionists, whoever they were, ever try to increase the payments or come for more money?
The extortion never went up, and Katie was always broke. And that's what led me to think that she was not a part of this, because she could have easily jacked up the payments.
Well, she's sharing $3,000 a month with a bunch of other people, right? At least one other person.
I didn't think she was sharing it. Why is she coming to me for $300 for her kid's birthday?
Because she's broke.
Because she wasn't getting any of the money.
Half of $3,000 doesn't do much when you're living in Miami with 2 kids to feed, right?
I didn't think she was sharing anything.
Well, even if she was sharing it, that's your point. She must not have been taking the money because she was broke. And my point is, she could have been taking half the money and been broke.
That's not how
It's
I
not
saw
a lot
it.
of money.
That's not how I saw it.
Tell me about Dan Markell a little bit. What you sort of said, what I heard, correct me if I'm wrong, was he was, a nice enough guy, typical Wendy boyfriend, but not really your kind of guy.
Yeah, I think it's an accurate description.
Right. Do you agree that he was this brilliant legal mind?
I think he was a little nerdy, nice guy. Just kind of like the average guy that my sister dated.
Not the kind of guy you want to have a beer with, though.
We never had a beer together. I mean, not that I wouldn't have had a beer if we wanted to have one. We just didn't have that much in common, but he was always nice to me.
Do you appreciate the fact that his death was a terrible loss to his sons?
It was horrible.
Do you think they were better off without him?
Absolutely not.
Did you host a celebration dinner after his murder?
That's a complete.
I love that. So when he was asked that, absolutely, when he was asked, did you take part in the murder of Dan Markell? He says, absolutely no. So it's almost like a contradiction. Absolutely. This is, again, absolutely. And I was just reading about Marty Tankleff. I did an episode on him, one of my more favorite episodes I've done, called Did Keith Raniere, who's the Nexium guru, who's now doing 120 years for trafficking and other offenses. I covered his trial from the hearings and the actual trial, to the sentencing of everyone involved in that case. And Marty Tankleff, who was convicted of killing his adopted parents, Arlene and Seymour Tankleff, he says the same thing, absolutely. And they say absolutely. So the statement analysis, we're analyzing his interviews and his 911 call, said that absolutely is a word we use to persuade and is flagged for deception in statement analysis. Interesting. And it's another favorite of Charlie Adelson, who we're listening to here.
Why?
On The Wire, would you agree that the Markell boys were in the background pretty much of every call you had with your mom, and you hear them a lot, right?
My sister was working, so my parents would help my sister out. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was summertime, so they were out of school, I would assume.
I don't know if it was every call, but they definitely helped my sister out for sure.
All right, and those calls captured Donna pushing them on the swings, that call that tortured all of us a couple times. Remember that one?
Yeah, there was a call where she was pushing them on the swings.
Taking them to tennis lessons.
That was the same day. That was the same call that got broken up, and she called me back. But yes.
Doing their bedtime routine.
Helping my sister out for sure.
Reading stories, brushing teeth, getting haircuts, going to piano, story time and bedtime, all of that kind of stuff.
I mean, she had them going to school like right next to her home. We saw that in the bump.
All stuff that parents and grandparents do. You're right.
All right. She even said to you on one of the calls regarding the bedtime routine that, quote, we have a whole routine going. Do you remember that?
I have a whole routine with my son. I mean, I think it's normal with kids. You have a routine to put them to bed.
Right.
You
All the kind of things.
Can't forget to brush your teeth.
Yeah. Well, dental humor couldn't hurt, right?
What's that?
All the things that your mom wouldn't have been able to do as readily if the kids were living in Tallahassee. Agree with that?
I mean, when they come up to visit them, they'd be doing the same thing.
Sure, when they came up to visit, but now they're doing it every day, right? Almost every day.
Not every day, but when my sister needed them, she helped them out.
And these are all things, these little routine things that Dan Markel will never be able to do with his sons. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Does your mom have a favorite child?
She says she doesn't have favorites, but I don't think she likes my older brother.
Okay. But is Wendy the favorite?
I'd like to think it's a tie between me and her.
I mean, what is Donna going to do? She's asked this. Is Wendy the favorite? It's the only one she says when she says, my son's doesn't talk to me anymore. My other son, he could be dead. He's in prison. This is some of my words, not a direct quote. But then she says, and my daughter, who I love, won't talk to me. This family is cursed. So what is she going to say on the stand? I mean, it's the only one she said she loves. I mean, her version of love is just who she can control. I mean, really. Who does she have the most control over? It sounds like Wendy. I don't know. I love all my children. I tried to do the best for them. I mean, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be poor Wendy, the martyr. Poor Donna, the martyr on the stand. That's what we're going to see.
Does your mom worry more about Wendy than you? Let's
I don't know.
Before this case.
No, I don't. I mean, I don't. I think maybe in different parts of my life, she's probably more concerned about me. Different parts of my sister's life, she may be more concerned about her.
Is it true that your mom has a tendency to worry herself sick if there's something going on with one of you kids?
No, I mean, she's a concerned mom, but I think she's a normal mom.
Was she pretty worried about Wendy's marital problems?
No.
She wasn't.
I think she'd get upset when my sister would tell her things that Danny was doing and going to work, bad mouthing her, but I think any parent would get upset.
But also she would meticulously go through all the filings and send long emails detailing her thoughts about every filing in this divorce.
No, I don't think that's the case at all.
Okay. Did she hate Dan Markel?
I think she liked him in the beginning, for sure. And I think when he was being a jerk to my sister, I don't think anyone particularly liked him when he was being a jerk.
What about around the time that he was killed? Did your mother hate Dan Markel?
No, I think it kind of like tapered off. I think she only disliked him when he was being mean to my sister. Other than that, nobody had a problem.
He was being mean to your sister during these divorce proceedings and subsequent litigation.
Right. So we're going to see this. Oh, I was getting along with him. He asked me to babysit. I made him banana bread that he just couldn't eat. I made him banana bread in my non-kosher oven. He could use it as a football or a. What does she think he's going to do with that banana bread? It makes a good paperweight after a couple days. Banana bread. I think we're going to hear about that the relationship was wonderful right before. It went through some hard times, but it was really wonderful, the relationship right before his murder.
Right.
I think it was on and off. I think it was sporadic.
And when your mom's worried about Wendy, does she come to you for solutions or to talk things out?
No, I don't think worried is the right word to describe it.
Does she ever make Wendy's problems your problems?
No.
Like convincing you to get Wendy to pull the plug on the house on Halloween 2013? Didn't she convince you to sort of take up that cause?
No, that was actually me. I thought I shared my thoughts on homeownership for my sister. That was all me.
Didn't you say that if she had bought that house, that would have been the second worst decision of Wendy's life?
I thought it was going to be a stupid decision to buy that house.
And what was the first worst decision of Wendy's life?
Oh, I thought looking at hindsight 2020, I think when she'd agreed when she married Dan.
And did you convince her to take a particular job as well? Remember that call?
Yeah, she got an offer from a law firm and she was debating whether or not she should take it. She didn't know if it was exactly what she wanted to do. And I was like, hey, you don't know what you don't like doing until you've done it. Seems like a great opportunity. Like, why not do it? Learn the job skill. It's a skill you don't. She's like, well, I don't have that skill. I'm like, well, it's a good opportunity to learn it and you may like it. And if you don't like it, then try something else. But I was trying to encourage her to take what sounded like a great opportunity.
And Mom shared your thoughts, I'm referring to Donna Adelson, shared your thoughts about this opportunity being a good one for Wendy, right?
I probably heard about the job from my mom, but I definitely heard about it from my sister because I'm talking to my sister about it.
Yeah, I mean, the job was not what she had any experience in, right? It's a whole nother field of law.
Then that was my point. It was like, well, why not take it if they're offering it to you and you can learn something new? It sounds like a great opportunity.
Do you and Donna know?
Right. Maybe, be my assistant in start learning dentistry. start helping me with some implants, root canals. I don't know. Thought it was a great opportunity for Wendy. Sure, she's never done it before, but what's stopping her?
What's best for Wendy better than she knows herself?
No, but not at all.
Were you a spy when it came to Wendy? Did you get information from from Wendy and relay it to Donna?
At times, because I was dating Bree, and Bree worked for Dave, so I would hear stuff about Dave from Bree, so I kind of had an inside. I got inside information.
In what capacity did Bree work for Dave?
Dave was his. After she graduated from college, she was working as a nanny for Dave.
Right. And how old was Bree during the time you were dating her? Was she significantly younger than you?
She was 24, and I was 39.
Is Bree the mother of your child?
She is the mother of my child. Yeah.
All right. So back to Wendy and Donna. So Wendy, was she tight-lipped with Donna about her private life?
I don't think she shared everything.
But she would tell things to you that you wouldn't tell to Donna.
I can't say that for sure.
Can you play clip 1, please? Publishing call EEE. EEE. 3 E's. Yeah, would you? That'd be great. We go to 209.
On this way, just stop off at there and fast. Anyway, so I just looked at Dave and Elle.
Oh, did you?
So I just called an old fart. She's a few months older than me. But so I asked Wendy for his birthday. Turns out Wendy's making her a little party in Goodwood.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Wendy goes like very tight-lipped.
You're not kidding.
So what you need to do is, she's obviously tight-lipped for a reason, because she doesn't want you to know anything.
Anything.
So my point is, if she doesn't want you to know anything, then don't ask anything.
I don't know.
She's happy.
Yeah.
And then I can find everything out and just tell you.
I know. It's great.
So I was like, so what are you doing for your birthday? He's like, well, Wendy's making me like a little birthday dinner, a little get-together party. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. He's like, yeah, she's doing it. He's like, I don't know anything. All I know is Wendy's putting it together for me, and she's doing it with.
Oh.
So I'm like, oh, that sounds awesome.
All I knew is that she was going straight from work to the hotel where everybody was meeting for this Miami Fellows thing that she got. And that she was going to be there tonight because it starts early, first thing tomorrow morning.
All right.
I guess in between, she managed to do something else. Which makes me happy. I'm really glad.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't imagine. Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's got me good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you remember yesterday, since you were telling a story about Katie coming in from having had some kind of altercation with Garcia, and she had reported that the necklace had been just pulled off her neck. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Right. And when you were relaying that story to the jury, you used a specific term describing what Garcia had done to her. Do you remember what that term was?
It was only yesterday, but you have to refresh my memory how I described it.
You said he roughed her up.
That's accurate.
And that put my antenna out, because that roughed them up is the exact same phrase that Catherine Magbanua said in her proffer that you used on Halloween 2013 when you first approached her about, does she know anyone who can rough someone up?
No, I think getting roughed up is an adjective, but what you're doing is the same thing you did with your TV theory. Is like you heard TV mentioned multiple times, so you put the whole case together with the TV.
Okay,
and
we'll get
putting
to
the
the
whole case
TV.
together with the word roughed up. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I'm
think
not
if
putting the whole case together,
One moment. Don't speak over each other.
but that's
Please
an
wait for him to answer, then you can ask your next question. Go ahead.
But that's an unusual, I mean, it's a specific term. I'm not making a whole case out of it, but did you say roughed up in both places?
Katie was roughed up by Sigfredo when he tore the necklace off of her neck, yes.
And isn't that the same term you used when you first approached Catherine Magbanua about did she know someone who could rough up someone else?
Never in my life have I ever asked her that question. Never in my life. That conversation never took place.
Did you ever hear Donna Adelson refer to Dan Markel as stupid?
No.
Were you laughing when Wendy was on the stand and I read all the names that Donna referred to Dan Markel as?
No, I laughed when you said the word fucker in court.
Okay. What did she mean when she said Dan Markel was trying to take her sunshines away? Do you know?
My mom never said that.
No, so you never heard her say
that was made up, and he put it in a court filing, and then now it becomes something that my mom said because someone made it up and put it in a court filing. My mom never said that.
Did your mom refer to the children as her sunshines?
No, the kids were 3 and 4. A 3 and 4-year-old can't repeat a conversation and remember words 6 hours later and repeat it accurately. I have a 5-year-old son. Never seen a 3 and 4-year-old do that. So it was made.
Well, those kids were pretty smart. We'd say that if any 3 or 4-year-old's going to repeat something, I think I don't know. I never bought that argument. But, curious, when they talk about all those I have such a bad sense of time. I really thought I've had so much more stuff for this episode. I thought I would breeze through this. But I don't know. I guess I'm going to go long today. I'm going to finish this up. But, I guess Donna could deny saying all that. But, it's pretty odd that they're using words she uses, my sun shines. I'm pretty sure that was her word for it, but I can't remember where else it was detailed. Is it just that phrase? And then strangely, the state isn't going to bring up her grandkids. Strangely, she's not going to bring up her grandkids to testify if they remember anything from 3 and 4. They've been through enough, thanks to the Adelson family. So I don't know. It just seems like, when Donna's going to be cross-examined on all those emails, it's so damning. Then the undercover stuff, ditto damning. And she's arrogant, and you can see that she doesn't deal well. And of course, her fleeing. Just to put it right in the middle here, just to give us a break from Charlie Adelson. Here is where she asks why she fled. Just turn off the closed captions. Why she fled with a one-way ticket to Vietnam. This is on cross-examination. Look how hostile Donna gets she should have expected this question, but look how hostile she gets here.
And you said that if you are given a bond, you will reside in Tallahassee, you will follow court orders. But when you were afraid of being arrested right after Charlie Adelson's trial, isn't it true that you hoped that you could get to the airport before you were arrested?
I wasn't afraid of being arrested.
What were you trying to get to the airport in time for? In that jail
My
cell?
husband and I were literally shocked and traumatized at what had happened to Charlie. And he said, we need to just get some peace. We need to catch our breath. We're going to go away somewhere. And I thought it was a good idea because I couldn't think straight. I really couldn't think straight. I was so upset, and so was he.
She couldn't think straight, but she is strangely organized, has a zillion notes on what to do before she left. She couldn't think straight. She was massively planning with lists and close down this. It's not like they left and everything in upheaval. We need to just clear our heads. They had their friend Annie Cunningham to help with their rentals, shutting things down, this, that, and the other lists to get Harvey this and that for Vietnam. All those are coming into play. She's going to have to answer for all those things.
And it was his idea. He said, sweetheart, let's go, just get away. We're going to just get away somewhere so we could have some time to think.
Okay, so your testimony is that you weren't trying to go to Vietnam because you wouldn't be able to be extradited from there?
So my husband actually had said, you know, we've been to Vietnam before with friends, we were on vacation, and it really was like a place of peace. And so he said, if we go to a non-extradition country, then if the law enforcement decided that they wanted to arrest you or me, whatever, both, he said, we won't be sitting in a foreign prison waiting months to go back. We could buy a ticket and we can go home. And my understanding was that I could go home and I could turn myself in if that's what they wanted.
Okay, but you were hoping to make it.
Wait, how is it turning yourself in is easier in a non-extradition country? Oh, so she would be the one who turned herself in, that they couldn't come and get her. She would just volunteer to come back. I mean, because they have her on tape saying she's looking for non-extradition. They have her email searches that she's searching for non-extradition countries. And by the way, P.S. spoiler alert, if you didn't watch yesterday's hearing, judge is clearing all this for leaving the jury. So this was such an innocent trip that her legal team tried to get it thrown out as evidence of anything, of evidence as consciousness of guilt. But the judge is going to leave it up to the jury to decide whether this shows Donna's guilty conscience. But they also have her on tape. If you want me, I've played this so many times, but saying, you know, Dan said, meaning her lawyer, now she's thrown this to Maryellen, Maryellen, her lawyer. She's kind of thrown this saying, you know, you're not going to be there's no warrant out for your arrest. You're okay to go. But saying that maybe you'll make it out in time. Meaning before the grand jury was going to meet that Wednesday, she left on a Monday. And maybe they'll arrest you in the airport. But it's worth a try. She knew there was a chance they were going to arrest her there.
Out of America in time before you were arrested, right?
I wanted to get away. He wanted to get away. That's what we wanted to do. And it wasn't.
No one's arguing that they didn't want to get away. Clearly they wanted to get away from something. But if you're so torn up about Charlie, you're going to be torn up in Vietnam just as much as you're torn up in Florida about it.
We spoke to our attorneys. I asked them. They said there's no pending. We purposely called them to make sure it was legal to do it, and they said there's no. What were their words? There's no pending charges and there's no warrants. So you want to go. And so I thought you asked your attorneys and they tell you that. I'm going.
But Dan did tell you, as you say in the jail call, that knowing what they're thinking up there, I don't know if you'll make it out in time. I really don't. But that he said you might, or you might get to the airport and they'll stop you. It could happen.
That's what he said.
Right. So you went to the airport knowing that it could happen. They could stop you at the airport. You could end up being arrested.
Yeah, that's what Dan said.
Right. And when you were looking at places to go those couple of days after Charlie Adelson's trial, you were specifically looking, though, for countries that did not have extradition with the U.S.
For the reason I just told you.
Right. And the reason that you're saying that you were looking for countries with no extradition was so that you could get back faster in order to be arrested in the U.S.
No, that's not what I said. It's because, I don't know, maybe we watch too much TV or too many movies, but I've seen movies where people are stuck in like third world prisons and waiting and waiting and waiting. And my feeling was, this is not what we want to happen. If the state says they want us to come back, we'll buy a ticket, we'll come back on our own terms. We don't have to be sitting in a jail somewhere. We'll come back home and turn ourselves in.
Couldn't you have done that no matter what country you went to?
No.
But I mean, wouldn't she be better saying that they didn't arrest her? They couldn't. I mean, she hears there's a warrant out for arrest in London, England. She can't get on a plane and come back.
No. You couldn't have found out that you had a warrant for your arrest and come back if there was an extradition
Well,
warrant?
not if they would, I'm not in law enforcement, but it appears that they would notify law enforcement in that country and then they could hold you in a jail for God knows how long. And I didn't want that to happen. So he said, well, that's why we'll do it this way, honey. That way, if they do notify us, so we get a phone call from our attorney or from law enforcement, then we'll buy a ticket, we'll go home.
Okay.
And so it would have been on our terms. That was the point. That was the reason that he thought that was a good idea.
And your
Before you continue, Ms. Dugan, we are over time. If you please can get to your most pertinent questions.
Yes, sir. I guess your testimony ultimately, though, is that you were not trying to go to a country with no extradition because you were trying to avoid being held accountable for this charge. That's your testimony?
I didn't do this.
Okay.
Being held accountable for this is not what happened.
So any statement analysis would say that it's vague. She's not going to say what it is. I didn't murder Danny. I didn't take part in any murder. I'm not a murderer. I didn't murder Dan Markell. But this could be anything.
Arrested for this case.
Being arrested?
Right. That was not what you were trying to avoid by trying to go to a non-extradition country.
We were trying to get our heads on straight and just breathe.
That's all.
Well, I mean, she would better off saying I didn't want to, I don't know. Would it be better? Let me know what you think. Would it be better off saying I didn't want to be charged with a crime I didn't commit? I saw what happened to Charlie, an innocent man. I thought that would have been her testimony. I thought that would be your testimony. They could convict Charlie. They could convict me. It could have happened. And I just want it out. But then it shows that she's fleeing the long arms of the law.
Made up. And now you're repeating it.
Okay. Have you been a good brother to Wendy?
I always try to be a good brother.
It sounds like maybe you're not agreeing that this was a really nasty divorce, or are you agreeing it was a nasty divorce?
I mean, I don't think any divorces can be pleasant, but I think they definitely had their fights. I mean, they were fighting over bicycles and all kinds of crap.
But in addition to that, Dan Markell accused your sister of fraud, right?
He made an accusation, yeah.
Threatened her with federal kidnapping charges.
Well, that's a new one. You just told me.
That one's in the emails that are in evidence. Did you review those?
I didn't review the federal kidnapping charges in this case.
Was seeking contempt proceedings. You heard about that here in court, yes?
I heard about that, yeah.
Even went after her lawyer personally, right?
He made serious threats against her lawyer.
And her bar card could have been in jeopardy if any of those, or some of them.
I heard that the other day. She was saying that, I guess her lawyer, he was threatening her lawyer's bar card.
Her lawyer's bar card as well as Wendy's.
He was making lots of threats and writing lots of stuff, I guess.
And he messed with your mom too, didn't he? In that grandma motion, you know which one I'm talking about?
I don't think he was messing with my mom. I mean, nobody took that seriously. I don't think anyone even knew about it.
Isn't your mom, I'm sorry, finish.
I said, I don't think anyone even knew about it till years later.
Isn't your mom notorious for always getting worked up about everything?
She gets upset. I mean, she's a concerned mom. I mean,
but is she notorious for getting really worked up about everything?
To a certain extent. I mean,
aren't those your own words from Call S that's in evidence in this case?
Yeah, those are my words, but you can't, honestly, not to an extreme, but she does worry, especially when like Latin King gang members are extorting her for money.
Did your mom take the grandma motion seriously?
I don't think she even knew about it.
She didn't talk to you about it?
No, I didn't find out about it till years later.
Wasn't this divorce a big deal in your family?
It didn't affect my life. I can tell you that. So I don't think that's true. I think it was a big deal in my sister's life.
Why did Wendy testify that she was getting along well with Dan Markell just prior to his death? Can we agree that's not true?
I think there were ups and downs and how they got along. I mean, you got to ask her. She was on the stand. I mean, I wasn't living her life.
Is it part of your defense to minimize how nasty and contentious this divorce was?
My defense is to tell the truth.
Did you have any input on the decision to change the boys' names from Markel to Adelson?
Absolutely not.
Do you and Donna have to protect?
That could be a question asked to Donna. Did you have anything to do with changing the boys' names from Markel to Adelson? I mean, they really just wanted to wipe off Dan Markel's whole essence being memory from off the face of the earth.
Wendy?
No.
Does Wendy appreciate everything you and Donna do for her?
You got to ask her. I mean, she's my sister. I love her. I try to give her my best advice I can. If I care about her, and I give her my advice, whether she takes it or not, is up to her. She's a grown woman.
So I'm so curious why that bar mitzvah dress picture is going to be used on Donna's defense. I mean, are they going to paint her as wanting to end it all? Sounds like it, doesn't it? I guess they're going to have to say she was in such a state. She wanted to end it all. Here's the picture of the bar mitzvah dress. And she says, bury me in the dress, right? Is it Ben or Benjamin's bar mitzvah dress?
Let me ask it another way. Do you feel, or isn't it true that you don't feel that Wendy appreciates everything you and Donna do for her?
And my sister had no idea what I've been through in the last, God knows how many years, and I wake up worrying, am I going to get killed? Am I going to get?
It was Lincoln's bar mitzvah dress, wasn't it? Was it Lincoln or was it Ben? I can't remember.
Get arrested, and she knows none of it. She's just going around her life, and I had somewhat of an innate anger towards her. Mm-hmm. Probably unjust because she didn't know what happened. But yeah, I was upset.
And weren't you saying on the wire that she doesn't appreciate what you and Donna have done for her?
I don't know if I said that she doesn't appreciate what I've done for her because I never did anything for her.
Okay, so that was my next question. What have you done for her? Nothing?
Other than give her advice and care about her, be a big brother that loves her.
Would you say Wendy's a little bit spoiled?
In some regards, I mean, she gets a lot of help for sure.
Is she a little less savvy about how the world works than you are?
I don't know. I mean, you got to ask her.
Could you trust Wendy with a secret that could ruin your life?
It's not a secret. It's something that would get me killed. So I didn't want to tell her.
Can we agree that she obviously knew something about this crime?
She found out when she came to court. I never told her anything.
I'm talking about the murder, Dan Markel. She knew something, right? I mean, it's not a coincidence she went to the crime scene, is it?
You're talking about the route that she took that day?
I'm talking about her pulling up to the crime scene tape.
She never went to the crime scene. She was going to buy a bottle of liquor that coincidentally the person sent her a stock the bar party for buy a bottle of bullet bourbon that she was going to pick up. She wasn't driving to a crime scene. And I think she made that clear too. Nobody knew a murder was taking place.
She pulled up to the crime scene tape, Dr. Adelson.
She didn't pull up to the crime scene tape. She was driving down the street and then had to make a U-turn. It was blocked off. But she wasn't going to.
She couldn't help herself.
Nobody knew a murder was going to take place.
She exposed you all to some degree by those actions, didn't she?
No, not at all.
And then she threw you under the bus in her interview, didn't she?
Nobody knew a murder was going to take place.
She knew her husband had just been shot and they were asking her who would want him dead. And she said your name. Are you mad about that?
No, she said a lot of people's names.
Well, she said yours in the first 25 pages of a 5-hour interview. Isn't that true?
I wasn't there for the interview.
But you've reviewed it in preparation for your trial, haven't you?
I actually don't know if I've seen her interview.
There was a lot of questions of you about, didn't you do this murder with Wendy? Doesn't the state think you did this murder with Wendy? Are you familiar with your charges in this case?
Yes, I'm very familiar with my charges.
Right. And who are you alleged to have done this murder with?
I'm alleged to have done this murder with my sister, my mom, and my dad.
Would it refresh your recollection to review a copy of the indictment in this case?
I'm a slow reader, but I can read it if you want.
May I approach your honor?
Right.
This is the official charging document in your case, Dr. Adelson. What does it say in reference to who you are alleged to have committed the murder with?
This is, what date is this? 22. Oh, they think I did a murder with Katie.
Catherine Magdanoff.
Yes.
Anybody else?
Give me a minute, I'll read. They got Luis Rivera in here. They got Sigfredo Garcia.
As being alleged to have committed the murder with you?
Did I read it too quick?
Okay. Should just be at the very top of each charge. On or about July 18th, 2014, did unlawfully.
Okay. Yeah, Katie.
Okay. Are you mad that Wendy hasn't been charged and you have?
No, I'm mad that I got charged for a crime that I didn't commit.
Do you have any innate anger with Wendy over that fact?
No, not at all.
Are you pissed that she told all that stuff to Jeff Lacoste?
I don't think she said that to Jeff, but I wasn't there.
How did Lacoste know about the celebration dinner?
That we went out to dinner. She got sick, so she may have told someone that she threw up.
And then what? He just added the part about you referring to it as a celebration?
I never referred to it as a celebration dinner. I picked my sister up. I said, where do you want to go to eat? She said she wanted pizza or sushi. I said, I know a great sushi place. We went there. We didn't have reservations. We ended up sitting at the bar for an hour waiting for our table. She had 2 drinks and got sick.
She vomited on the dinner table or at the dinner table.
Yeah, she got her to the bathroom. But yeah, she doesn't drink alcohol. So those 2 drinks, and I think on an empty stomach, I think she got really sick. But there was no celebration dinner. It was the first time that she actually really left the house since she got back from Tallahassee. She was devastated.
Did you say something to her about the murder of Dan Markell right before she vomited?
Absolutely not.
Do you remember what you said right before she vomited?
She was I think she said, I don't feel well. And I say, oh no. And then she threw up.
Before that?
No, I think I said, oh no. And then she threw up.
Before she announced that she was going to be ill.
Right.
Do you remember what the conversation was?
Just how's the food? I mean, we were probably about halfway through dinner. If you look at the timetable, we weren't there long.
Why did you brag to Jeffrey Lacoste about your connection to the Cuban criminal element?
I never said that to Jeff Lacoste.
So he's making that up?
If he said it, I never said it.
Well, you were in here when he said it, weren't you?
I heard him say it, yeah. But I never said that to him.
On one of these calls, and it's in the context of talking about Dave and Wendy's relationship with Dave, you tell your mom that you've already gone above and beyond for Wendy. Was that a reference to having her ex murdered?
No, it's me getting tired of this Dave stuff. I mean, Dave's a great guy. I mean, everyone who meets him likes him. He's not only super successful, but he's very low key, like t-shirts and jeans kind of guy. And he loved my sister's kids. I mean, if you listen to The Wire, the point I was making is not how successful he is. The point I was making is that my nephews farted on him, and he thought it was funny and didn't bother him. And he also has 3 young kids, the same ages as my sister's 2 young kids. They actually met in line when my sister was registering the kids for school. And it was they've been friends for years. So I thought it was a great opportunity for my sister to have a great guy in her life. And I was getting sick and tired of Dave calls. And The Wire started in April. My sister's birthday's in April. Dave's birthday's in April. So you got a ton of Dave chatter on this case. But believe me, I'd go crazy if I was talking about Dave like this all year long.
So that's a no. You did not reference having her ex murdered?
Absolutely not.
When you said
No.
you've already gone above and beyond?
No, that was me getting sick of dealing with the Dave stuff. As great as the guy as he is, I was still getting sick of it.
And then Donna's got to answer for why she wrote to her in a text message, everyone's protected you. Now you're not guilty. Your lawyers took good care of you. That text message. That'll be interesting. And then I'm sure they're going to ask Wendy, what did your mother mean when she wrote this? I mean, if Wendy answers, you got to ask her, well, what did you take it to mean? Your lawyers protected you. Now you're not guilty. Now you're not guilty. I mean, so when you use the word now, it means at one time you were guilty, right? Now you're not guilty. I mean, Donna's telling us all that right there that Wendy was a part of it. She used Charlie's words. a part of it. I mean, it's so minimizing, but a part of the plot and conspiracy that murdered Dan Markel. She was a part of it. Now you're not guilty. Well, what were you before? Your lawyers took good care of you. Why would your lawyers need to take good care of her? She's not guilty. They wouldn't have to do anything. So damning.
The $1 million offer was conceived. Do you recall whose idea that was?
My parents.
Why was the relocation worth $1 million?
Well, it was actually I was going to pay a third, so I looked at it as that way. Why was it worth it?
That's the question.
Because it was going to help my sister out, and it was going to give her a good opportunity for a good job down here, and she was going to be around family, and family's important, so that's why.
Isn't it true that financially you came out ahead on this deal as opposed to if you had coughed up the third of the $1 million offer?
How in the world did I come up ahead? This is the craziest
Financially, you paid $138,000, then you paid $2,000 a month plus the $1,000 payroll amount. You're still about over $100,000 ahead financially.
Oh, I had them at $3,000. I thought I'm wrong. I had him at $3,000 a month. He was on a $2,000 a month pay plan. That's less than most New Yorkers rent monthly. So he's doing pretty well. That's nothing. And for a periodontist, $2,000 a month, what a reasonable pay plan. Oh my law. So ridiculous.
And if you had coughed up the $333K.
No, I would have been better off paying. And first of all, I never paid for murders. This is a crazy question, but paying $3,000 a month for life is not anything anybody wants to do.
I didn't say anything about paying for a murder. I said you paid $138,000, which you did.
I got extorted for $330,000.
And then you paid, but you didn't pay the $330,000.
Right, because I didn't have it. I cleared out my safe, and that was what was in my safe that night.
All right. Can we agree that Wendy was stressed out about the issues surrounding her divorce?
I think the divorce caused stress in her life, yes.
And you were hearing about it from your mother, weren't you?
Yeah, I would hear.
Wendy's totally stressed out. Yesterday was a rough one, that sort of thing.
Yes, like I said it before, is that my sister would tell my mom a story. I'd be sitting in the car driving. My mom would be talking to me and telling me the latest story of the day. And that's how I found out a lot.
And then on 2/19/14, Donna texts you again to tread lightly with Wendy and refers to Dan Markel as an asshole and a fucker, right?
Sorry. You made me laugh. Sorry.
That's what I'm here for. Is that what happened? That text?
Did my mom use a foul word to describe him?
Yes, sir. Asshole and fucker, to be specific.
Sorry. She used a curse word correct.
Is that pretty?
Well, it's almost like they're all dividing the amount that they were going to bribe Dan Markel, $1 million. And they're all breaking up probably what they paid for this murder for hire plot between three people. Right? So there's three of them, Harvey and Donna and Charlie. And Wendy, I mean, if you want to include Wendy in it, I don't know, she's going to pay them back for it. But the bribe was going to come from, right? Harvey and Donna are one person, Charlie and Wendy. It's almost like they broke up the payment that way. What an odd, I mean, when we say $333,000, we say odd number, but not an odd number. If they say, well, we can't bribe Dan Markel with $1 million, we'll put it towards the murder plot.
Strong language for your mom, or is that how she speaks?
I mean, it is pretty strong language, but I think I've been called a lot worse. But my mom used the curse word. She used the curse word. You just use curse words too. So
was Wendy less stressed? Was Wendy less stressed out once all this litigation was over?
No, she was a million times more stressed out.
Was she better off financially?
There may have been some, but not much. I don't think so.
Was she able to stop paying her $800 an hour divorce lawyers?
Yes.
Did she get $2.7 million in benefits for her children plus $4,800 a month for the boys' benefit?
No, as far as I know, that money was in trust for, and it's controlled by Dan Markel's sister. So none of that money, you keep saying it like the money went to her. The money's in trust for the kids, and that money never went to her.
Some of it went to her and some of it was in trust for the kids, right?
I don't know the breakdown, but I know the 90-something% of what you're talking about is in trust, and it's in trust for the children. It's not for her benefit.
So he talks about this specifically with his mother on the jailhouse call, saying, I said, I didn't know Wendy's finances, but he seemed to know them pretty well. And Donna's like, yes, you answered that well. You answered that well, Charlie.
Right. It's for the benefit of the boys, but it has to come through her because they're children, right?
Well, it has
she gets disbursements, right?
It has to go through the executor of the trust. And my sister's not the executor of the trust.
No, sir. I'm not saying she is. When the executor of the trust disperses money for the benefit of the boys, it gets dispersed to Wendy, right?
See, you know more than I know.
Did you have trouble sleeping after the murder?
After I was extorted, for sure.
Did Katie text you on 12/19/15? Sorry, we have problems sleeping and shit. We do have a lot of weight on our shoulders.
Did she text me that?
Did she text you that?
I mean, she may have, but it sounds about right.
Do you want to look at the text?
I can look at it.
Why would the weight be on Katie's shoulders? She's benefiting from it. So why would there be any weight on Katie's shoulders? That doesn't make sense. Yeah, we'll finish. I know. We'll finish this up. Thanks for this is going long. Thanks for hanging in, listening with me.
Yeah, sure.
Which one? This is Bill.
Which one?
Glasses. You can look around for context if you want, but I'm looking at page 2 of this exhibit, and it's got a little box around it.
Thanks.
And if that refreshes your recollection, the question is, did she send it?
Yeah.
I want to go over a little bit some of the payments or gifts that you gave to Catherine Magdanova. We've heard a lot about her being put on the payroll at the Adelson Institute, and
Another thing Donna's got to answer for. That's going to be devastating to her. Watch her get away with it. Watch her get a not guilty verdict. I mean, that's definitely a trend now with juries. Been so indoctrinated by this years and years and years of wrongfully convicted nonsense media, true crime, innocence fraud crap. I told you when I was a jury, right before we finalized our verdict, it was 11 guilty to 1. We finally turned that one person in a child predation case. The guy said, this young guy said, he was a juror, said to the whole group really, well, there's lots of wrongful convictions, but this isn't one. I was like what? And I know there are wrongful convictions, but you're acting like there's so many of them. I was like, don't you think every jury is sure that they're not wrongfully convicting someone before they convict? Don't they think every jury is sure that they've met their burden? It's crazy. So, I mean, watch her walk away with it, but she's got to answer, Donna, to why she is writing checks for someone who doesn't work at the Institute. And just a little flashback to memory lane with the Adelson Institute. Here we go. Here we go. The whole Adelson Institute. There they are, the whole crew. I mean, why she's writing checks, I used to think that Charlie, there's more because of all the wiretaps, but Donna Adelson has made more evidence by fleeing, by doing whatever she was doing in Leon County. I mean, half of her defense witness list is all about this second investigation. I mean, it's going to be a really good trial. We don't know any of the details really of this second wiretap on the Adelson family, on Harvey Adelson's phone. And will her lawyers face any pushback? They never do. For letting their client use their phone to talk to Harvey, to avoid the surveillance in the jail. And talk about acting in a non-ethical manner.
And she made this demand to you when you met her to give her the first extortion payment on the payment plan. Is that correct?
She didn't make a demand. When I gave her the $3,000 for her friend, she asked me if I could do her a favor and put her on payroll for $1,000 a month so that she could get insurance for her kids. She was going to cash the check, and the money was still going to her friend, so that money wasn't going to her. She was getting insurance for her
And
kids.
did you believe her that she would give the money from the paychecks to the friend?
I believe what she was saying to me, yeah.
Isn't it true that Catherine McDaniel actually asked you to place her on the payroll back in June, prior to this extortion effort?
I don't know if I put her on payroll. She asked me if I could put her something when I was dating her, put her something on the office so she could get insurance. But I never did.
And that was in June.
Yeah, I remember she'd asked me about it before, but I never did anything.
In June 24th of 2014, she says, "Baby, I'm going to need help on the employment info. I have to send to DCF for my kids' insurance. Also, if I have to end up moving later on, I need to show I'm working for you, or else I won't be able to get an apartment." To which you respond, "No problem." Remember that?
Yeah, but I wasn't thinking she was asking about payroll. I think she was asking just to say that she worked there, so we signed a letter saying that she was employed. But that doesn't say anything about writing checks to her.
And that request was made in between the two trips that the killers made.
That request, well, she asked me if I could do that for her while I was dating her, and I never even did it.
And did she ask if you could do that in between the two trips that the killers made?
I didn't know when they went up, but I found out later that they went up in June.
All right, so that email would have been sent, I'm sorry, it's a text. That text would have been sent prior to what you're calling is the first layer of the extortion.
That text was sent to me while I was dating her, but I never.
Prior to the first layer of extortion?
The text was sent in June.
Prior to the first layer of extortion?
Before I was extorted, yeah. Before I broke up with her.
And you say several times on the wire that she was cleaning at the office. Was she really cleaning?
No, she never worked for us.
She was doing some type of cleanup for you, wasn't she?
No.
What's the purpose?
I love how Charlie doesn't get the double entendre there. She was doing some kind of cleanup for you. She was helping clean up the problem of your sister's ex-husband, Dan Markel. What a nightmare, Ruth Markel. And your husband her ex-husband have to sit through this murder trial. Just these things never end. Not like they're going to get any. I hate when they say the victim's family is going to get closure. There is no closure. It's a life sentence of grief they've been given, thanks to the Adelson family.
Purpose of keeping Katie happy. Was she going to sick the Latin Kings on you if you made her unhappy?
She was protecting me. I didn't know what would happen. And she was keeping my mind, like when that extortion never went up. And I just assumed, I thought that she wasn't part of it and she was protecting me. Usually extortion goes up. It always gets ratcheted up from what I've heard.
What's the fear of not keeping her happy is what I'm trying to understand.
Well, I could get killed, or the people who were extorting me could come rob me. And I didn't get killed. I didn't get robbed. The extortion never went up. I thought she was really protecting me.
If that's the case, why not just, you're complying with everything they've asked you to do, right?
I'm doing everything that was asked to do, and yeah.
So why reach out and say, hey, can I get you a trip to Key West to go with that extortion money?
I never said, can I get you a trip to Key West?
You didn't say you were trying to get them the owner's cottage. Maybe it's not in Key West. Trying to get them the owner's cottage because it's the nicest, $380 a night. The postcard inn. Do you recall all those conversations?
Oh yeah, for sure. And she'd actually asked me weeks before the bump, because I had this connection at a place called the Moorings that I could get like a really great price at a really affordable price for how nice the place is. And I said I was going to make some calls and help her out and get it. And then I ended up giving her $300 for the, when she picked up that bag at my house, I put $300 in it and I got her a hotel room.
Is that a yes? You remember that conversation?
Yeah, I did.
And she didn't want the trip. In the text messages, she's saying like, no thanks. And you're kind of forcing it down her throat. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, because actually it's funny, at that time in the wire, I was trying to see if Katie and him were together or they weren't together. So that's why I kept asking, how are things? Are you guys okay? Because if they were fighting, it was making me think more and more that the reason she was avoiding me was because she found out that he was the one who was doing the second extortion again. So I was trying to figure out if it was him and if she was lying to me.
And in this case, she says, I don't want to do anything. And you say, you know what, F that, you're going there. You're going to have a good time.
For sure. I was trying to do nice things for her.
And then did you pay for a trip or offer to pay for a trip to Santo Domingo for Catherine Magbanua and Sigfredo Garcia to visit his parents?
I didn't know who she was going with, but I paid for it. You're talking about airline tickets?
Yes.
She called me up. She had an emergency. Something happened. She booked tickets for the wrong date. I had no idea who in the family she was going with. And she had no money. And I remember I was in Chicago. I was at a friend's wedding and I took out my credit card and I gave her the credit card number and let her book tickets. I thought she was going with her kids.
So is that a yes? You paid?
Oh yeah, no, I remember that well.
So go quicker if we can just.
I'm sorry.
Answer the question.
What's the objection?
Argumentative.
Overruled.
Did you offer to buy Catherine Magbanua and her mom a cruise?
Yes, Katie had mentioned to me that she always wanted to be able to take her mom on a cruise. So I offered, but she never took me up on it.
Did you call in prescriptions for Catherine Magbanua?
She was a patient of record in my office.
Did you pay for a meal service for Catherine Magbanua?
Yeah, I did.
Did you pay for car repairs for her?
Yeah, all this stuff was making me think she was broke. So yes, you're right.
Did you offer that she could use your Range Rover anytime?
I said she could borrow the car, sure.
Did she talk about getting a boat and you offered to help her get a boat?
I never offered to help her get a boat. I offered to help her look for a boat.
Did you pay for the breast augmentation?
No.
No part of the breast augmentation?
Not at all.
So when she's saying at the same time she's the day of the breast augmentation, can I just put it on the credit card? Is she referring? Can I just put it on your credit card? Is she referring to something else, some other expense?
I have no idea what she's referring to, but I did not pay for her boob job.
What about this birthday gift for Sigfredo Garcia? What was the bonsai tree in the bag? What was that all about?
Oh, she had asked me, and it's on a wire. It's on 420, where she says, "Can you get me some bud from Bud, my next door neighbor's Bud?" And she asked me if I could get some marijuana from my next door neighbor for her. So that's what when I said I have a bonsai tree for you. She asked me, and I got her a little bit of marijuana from my next door neighbor for her.
And you said, I don't know what a married man with kids would want for his birthday, but you did your best. I did my best.
I was being completely, by the way, I was being completely sarcastic. I never would get Sigfredo Garcia a present in my life.
And you thought you hit it out of the park with the weed and the gift card. Did you say that?
Well, give me a little more context.
The context is you don't know what a married man with kids would want for his birthday, but you did your best and you think you hit it out of the park.
No, I was being completely sarcastic because she had asked me for that marijuana 2 weeks earlier and I gave it to her. And then I was joking around when I gave it to her. I didn't want him to think that I was hooking up with her. So I started to joke around about it. And then I was like, maybe you can just tell him it was for me because I didn't want him to think that I'm hooking up with Katie. And that's why I gave it to her.
Can we agree in general that it's important to maintain positive feelings between co-conspirators. If you're a co-conspirator with someone in a crime, you want to keep positive relationship with that person. Will you agree with that?
I'm not a co-conspirator with her.
Okay, I'm saying in general. Can you agree in general that co-conspirators in a crime want to stay friendly with each other?
I'm not a co-conspirator with her.
All right, can't agree to that. If a co-conspirator develops a motive to harm another one, that could be bad, right?
Co-conspirator. Say it again.
Say, a husband and wife do a murder together. And then 10 years later, they've gotten away with it, but 10 years later, they fall out. That could be a problem. Somebody might start talking, right?
I was never part of a murder.
Were these gifts, these things that you provided to Catherine Magbanua and her mother and Sigfredo Garcia payment for the murder?
Okay. I never got Sigfredo a gift in my life. The guy absolutely hates me. He wants to kill me. He stalked me. He extorted me. Like, that was being completely sarcastic. And sometimes I make some bad jokes, but that's even when I wrote, he wanted to take me deep sea fishing. I knew he wanted to kill me. Like, you have that text too. I didn't think we were going deep sea fishing.
On April 6th of 2015, did you receive a text from Catherine Magbanua that reads, "Next time, don't be such a dick to someone who has done something for you"?
Yeah, she's protecting me, and she's mad. She's mad at me over something.
Are these gifts what it took to secure her silence for so long?
No, absolutely not. I was never trying to get her silence. I was hoping she'd tell the truth.
Was your dad's birthday in between?
All these text messages, and this is something that people always think their text messages won't be read. We have a heavy weight on our shoulders. Katie's writing him terribly. Don't be a dick to someone who's done something for you. What has she ever done for him? According to him, she's a leech who's extorting him. But he's going to say that's because she arranged the extortion? Really? That's for him? Really? Seriously? Come on. Yeah, that's damning. And then there's Katie's testimony, which is excellent. Better than her pro offer for sure. I don't know what she was thinking in that. And those, she's still holding back. I don't know for what. Maybe if they ask her again after her appeal has been denied, maybe she would say more. Who knows? But the only way she's going to get out is by saying everything that she knows or close to it.
The 2 trips that the killers took?
Yeah, my dad's birthday is July 5th.
And what birthday was that for him?
It was his 70th birthday party.
All right, so there's been a lot of talk about the texting between you and your mom about the birthday. And she texts you on March 4th of 2014 and says she can't talk now, but she'll call when she goes to the bathroom in Gainesville and has privacy. She tells you to erase that text after you read it. Why did she have you erase that text?
Okay. If you look at the records, I never erased the text.
Well, why did she ask you? If you know, you may not know.
Maybe she's afraid my dad's looking at her phone and would find out about the president. It made no sense to me. That's why I was like, I didn't erase anything.
How is you erasing the text going to prevent your dad from seeing it on your mom's phone?
Well, if my dad looked at my mom's phone, then he'd see the text and maybe know she's planning for his birthday.
You weren't with dad. She was with dad. Just to clarify.
Yeah, she was with my dad.
And the text that she asked you to erase, that particular text didn't say anything about a birthday or paella. Can we agree on that?
No, not. But I knew what it was about.
20 minutes later, she texts again and asks something about dad's birthday. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I know we were trying to plan a surprise cruise. That was the original idea.
Okay, and the paella is mentioned elsewhere, not in this particular thread that we're talking about now.
Yeah,
was paella the big birthday gift?
Yeah, I paid for the catering for the whole party.
Okay. Then 3 months later, on June 8th, just after midnight, you text her, quote, "still working on dad's birthday present." Was that in reference to the paella guy?
Possibly what I was also getting was a present. I mean, it's been 10 years, so I don't know exactly what I got him 10 years ago on his birthday.
And then at
what
1 a.m., I'm sorry, you weren't done.
No, or what I was thinking about getting him.
And then at 1 a.m., mom texts you back, "I know you'll," and I think she was in Israel, so that might account for the time, but she texts you, quote, "I know you'll come through for me." Is that what she said?
That's what the text said, yeah.
Can we agree the timing of these texts is consistent with being sent the day after the killers got home from their failed June murder trip?
No, it's consistent with a few weeks before my dad's birthday and trying to figure out what we're going to get him.
Why didn't you go to Dan's funeral?
In Canada?
I think there were some in Tallahassee and in Canada as well.
I know there was
But
a
did you go to
memorial.
either?
There was a memorial service here. I
Did you
didn't
go to that?
No, I didn't attend. I knew what had happened to him, and there's no way I could have shown up. I would have been too upset.
Mr. Dubin, your lawyer that was here, seems like a long time ago at jury selection, said, people have different ways of grieving and that sort of thing. Were you grieving for the death of Dan Markel?
I felt horrible about what happened, and I knew what happened.
When
And
did you?
I wasn't close to him, but either way, I mean, I felt horrible about what happened.
When did you find out exactly how he was killed? Meaning like shot twice in the head.
I found out. It would have been the next morning is how I found out he got shot in the head.
Do you agree that this was a first-degree murder?
Do I agree?
Planned, premeditated?
The people who killed him planned on killing him, yeah.
Do you think everyone involved should be convicted?
I think everyone involved should be convicted.
Even the person that hired the hit?
I think anybody who played a role in it, but I wasn't a part of it.
Do you regret that Dan Markel suffered for 14 hours before he died?
I feel horrible.
He was supposed to die quickly, instantly, right?
Why would you feel horrible about a murder that you would, you feel sad that he was murdered, but you feel horrible about it? That's usually something that you're responsible for. You feel horrible about things. You feel sad. You feel enraged. You feel things you don't have a part in, but that you generally feel horrible about things that you, to quote Charlie, you were a part of.
Are you asking me?
I am.
No, he wasn't supposed to die at all. This was horrible what happened.
Did it surprise you that the cops were able to identify the Prius?
Did it surprise me?
Yes.
I'm not a cop. I don't know how cops investigate.
Did it surprise you to learn that it's not a requirement of law to put the person at the scene of the crime to be guilty of a crime?
Listen, I'm not a police detective.
Was the police work in this case thorough?
I'm sure the police did the best they could.
Did you think that you had done everything properly such that you could never be detected or caught for this?
I wasn't part of this murder at all. You have it wrong.
Catherine Magbanua said that you think you're untouchable. Is that true, Doctor?
That's not true at all.
Did your parents drop off money to you on the night of the murder?
I never saw my parents there. You could look at our cell phones and you'll find that out, that we never saw each other.
I did look at the cell phones, and what is on there is your mom texts you, quote, outside your house.
No, I mean, look at the tower information.
I think you testified that meant she was just passing by on the roadway.
She was approaching the area, yeah, to see if I was home.
And do you know what your response was to her text?
Yeah, like 20 or 30 minutes later, I said 10 minutes.
I'm 10 minutes out, is what you
I
said.
think I said 10 minutes, but yeah, I'm not home.
Doesn't that indicate you're going to meet them at your house in 10 minutes?
No, I told her to let me know when you're going to be in the area.
See, yeah, and Donna seems to be echoing this. If you go to her evidence list, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, but so this is okay. So travel documents, bump note, but here they want to go over all this. These are all the evidence lists, and then they say cell tower, Christmas note, voicemail left by okay, undercover, Wendy's email. Okay, here we go. It's KK, LL, transcripts of wire calls, historical records for Florida Turnpike, July 18th. Historical construction records for Florida Turnpike. Do you see where I am? NN, July 18th, 2000, forthcoming. Historical accident records, Florida Turnpike, 18th, forthcoming. So they think they will be exonerating, saying that she was nowhere near handing over the money that day. But let's see what happens at trial. They're promising a lot here.
Was the money that Catherine Magbanua got damp?
I never gave her any money that was damp. The money I gave her came out of my safe.
Was it damp?
No, I took it out of my safe. I put it on the dresser. She put it in her purse.
Why did Garcia and Rivera, or whoever did it, I guess I should say, why did whoever did it need to kill someone to extort you?
You gotta ask them.
Well, why couldn't they just come put a gun to your head and say, give me all the money in your safe?
Thank God they did.
Thank God they didn't.
Thank God they didn't. I would have gotten killed.
If Garcia hated you, why would he drive to Tallahassee twice to kill someone you hated?
It sounds like he was part of the extortion, or Katie put him up to it.
Doesn't blackmail or extortion usually involve the extortionist having some kind of dirt on the victim?
I know how this was done to me. I know I'm just telling you what happened to me. I'm not an expert in it.
If they had come in and threatened to kill you, would you have given them the money in your safe?
If someone came and put a gun to my head, I would open up my safe and I would give them the money.
I still don't get how killing Dan Markel advances the ball for them to extort money out of you. Do you?
Yeah, I have a theory. They could extort me for life, and I don't think they knew exactly how much I had in the safe. She knew I had a lot of money in the safe, but this way I could get extorted for life, and that's what happened. And I was stuck paying $3,000 a month.
But you could have gotten extorted for life just by the threat of death by Latin King, couldn't you, Doctor?
I mean, this was as real a threat as you get. I mean, these guys aren't messing around.
All right, you didn't report this after Garcia was arrested, did you? Did not report this after Garcia's arrest?
No, not at all.
Okay, you did keep paying Catherine Magbanua after Garcia's arrest?
No, I never saw her again.
Did not report this after Magbanua's arrest, correct?
Correct.
Did not testify in either of their trials, correct?
Was never contacted to, but yes.
You were okay with the possibility of them getting away with killing Dan Markel.
I thought the truth was going to come out in 2019.
How, if the witness who knows something doesn't come forward?
Katie knows what happens and knows I was extorted, and her trial was in 19.
Right, but he's offering to pay for her legal fees. He's denying it. Why didn't he just say, yeah, I went in to help pay for her legal fees. I knew an innocent woman who was getting railroaded.
And I was expecting.
But now Katie Magbanua is going to be the real villain of Donna's trial. Katie, the mastermind behind everything. 5 foot, nothing. Katie is scaring, 6 foot whatever, Charlie. Not like, get out of my house. Let me talk to those Latin Kings. Have them come tell me in person. I'm not paying anything. He's not paying $5,000, but he's handing over $130,000 from his safe. Give me a break.
The truth to come out then. Instead, I found out that she was having this affair with him on me, and she lied, and all this money was going to her.
So if her defense had been, I was an innocent conduit to an extortion, you would have backed her up on that?
If she would have come in and told the truth, and yeah, for sure. You would have heard the same story.
Where is your family located now? You don't have to be specific, but is your mom and dad, are they still in South Florida?
They still live in South Florida.
Okay, what about Wendy and the boys?
My parents live about 35 minutes from my sister, and I used to live about 45 minutes from them.
And are they okay, as far as you know, physically today as we sit here?
Yes.
And are you concerned that because you've told now on the Latin Kings that they're going to come kill your whole family?
I mean, I just told you that I knew that, was told then that Luis Rivera, the head of the Latin Kings, killed Dan Markel. So, I mean, I do have some concern when I get out.
Right, but even after me. Sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. I said I do have some concern for Latin Kings now that I've spoken, told what I know.
But what about, Rivera was already in custody at one point, as well as Garcia and Magbanua. My understanding is your continued fear was due to other Latin Kings, potentially. Is that accurate?
These are highly connected people. Luis Rivera, the head of the Latin Kings, in custody means absolutely nothing. If you think he can't send somebody from the outside, you're wrong.
All right. So my question to you is, did that happen? Because you told yesterday.
Was I killed yesterday when I was in jail? No.
And nobody in your family has been killed so far.
You're talking about in the last 24 hours?
Right.
Not that I know.
Okay. But you're worried about that.
But it did come out that he was in protective custody. Whether he was in protective custody in prison now because he was part of a high-profile trial, I think that's more likely than that the Latin Kings want to kill him for making up this story about him being extorted. That was the way it was reported. He was talking immediately after he got convicted about Dan Rashbaum looking for special accommodation for him in prison so he could be with police officers and snitches and in a protective unit in prison because he's not a typical prisoner, could have been singled out for extortion, for whatever else. So I think that has more to do with it. And they won't even disclose what prison he's in North Dakota. They'll just say prison, North Dakota. I'm sure some people know.
I think now that I've spoken, I do have a concern, yes.
Okay. But not too concerned to remain silent when it's your own butt on the line, right?
I'm here to tell the truth. And yes, do I have a concern now that I told you what happened? Absolutely.
Mom tells you on that first wire call that the bump involves the two of us, referring to yourself and your mom, right?
Yes, that's what she said.
And would you agree, prior to your explanation, that that looks pretty incriminating?
I think if you don't know what happened, you can assume the worst.
Isn't it true that you had to add the bit about confiding your extortion in your mom in order to put that toothpaste back in the tube?
No, that's what happened when I got the checks.
Otherwise, why would you bring your mom into this?
I didn't want to. When I first told her on the phone and asked her to write the checks, I told her, I said, just it's a long story. I brushed it off and she didn't press anything, but I think she was out somewhere. It wasn't until when I picked up the checks that she started pressuring me and saying, this makes no sense. Why are you doing this? You're not dating Katie. And that's when she found out.
But your mom is the most high-strung out of the whole group, right? And she's old and she worries, right?
I don't think she's super high-strung, but she does worry about her kids.
You don't?
No. You've never met her.
Well, you said she was, quote, notorious for making a big deal out of everything.
I mean, she overreacts, but she's a mom. I think a lot of moms overreact.
Okay. You could have told her, you know, Katie's down on her luck and I'm just going to be putting her on the payroll. I mean, you were making enough money. You could tell her to just write checks, couldn't you? Why'd you have to tell her it was an extortion from Latin King gang members?
Well, okay, at that time, I didn't know anything about the Latin Kings. But when I told her what happened, I was thinking that, you know what, it actually would be good if someone knows what happened in case I get killed, they at least know what direction to start looking in. So until that point, nobody even knew.
Wait, now I'm confused. So he didn't know the Latin. He just thought some nameless, faceless people were extorting him. So how did he know? Why was he even paying? That doesn't even make any sense.
So I just, when she started questioning me, I just said, you know what, I'm going to tell you, but don't say a thing to Dad. Don't say a thing to Wendy. You got to promise me. I didn't want her to ever talk about this again. And that was the day that she found out. It was when I got the checks.
What she doesn't say on the wire is, it's happening again. I was approached by another extortionist today. Does she say that?
No, she's talking very carefully.
And you say carefully, but isn't carefully the same thing as code?
No, they're two totally separate things. Do you know the difference?
You weren't really giving her money for a TV, were you?
Giving her money for TV.
This TV is probably going to be about $5. I need you to bring cash tonight.
I wish she picked another object on planet Earth other than TV. But TV is code for absolutely nothing. There is no code in this case involving TV. And you keep circling and circling and circling TV, you're wrong.
Is it a coincidence that the repair of the TV that you bought Wendy as a divorce gift because it was cheaper than hiring a hitman is your sister's alibi for the murder? And then your mom brings up TV, first call on the wire?
It's not an alibi for a murder. She had a broken TV. You got to ask Lincoln who threw the remote at the TV.
Was it a coincidence? Is the TV thing
Strangely, he refers to it as an alibi on the jailhouse calls. If they don't bring that up, they're going to be so dumb. If they don't bring it up, why did Wendy leave her alibi? Why did she have to leave her alibi? I mean, do I have to play it? I guess maybe I do to prove my point. But, I mean, which one is this? Hold on 1 second. Okay, 6. Okay. Ay, ay, ay. Is it this one? Yeah. Hold on 1 second, guys. Okay.
Obviously, it keeps coming up. Don't tell us we're stupid. Like, it became like that with the coincidences. The coincidences were, it was like meant to insult. Like, Wesley just happened to show up at the house an hour later. Drive by. What do you think there's when I first heard that it was like, Wendy was over here there. Like, why would she go over there? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. Makes it look good. And then I found out that she really was in that car. Like, she's right there. That's crazy. The guy doesn't know what he's talking about. And then someone told me, no, she really was. And I was like, when I heard that, they're like, you're like, they think she's involved because she was there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, why would she be there? What is it?
That's because then they said to her, you saw that. Why didn't you call the preschool to see how the children were? Why didn't you see how Danny was? Well, why would she think there's a problem? She thought it was a tree down. They just closed off a whole bunch of the street. She really didn't think there was anything. If she thought that her children were in danger, she would have called the preschool. You know?
They said all the fire rescue was gone, the paramedics were gone, the road was blocked, and it had yellow tape. Well,
yeah, that was it.
Well, that would make perfect sense. But Jesus Christ, I mean, it's not like she showed up 6 hours later. It's not like she showed up an hour before, an hour after she shows up. Because as Kappelman said, she couldn't help herself.
Yeah, she couldn't.
You know when they say the most obvious answer, the simplest answer is the real answer? It's not. I mean, what's the most obvious answer for Wendy leaving her alibi and then showing up there? What's the only answer?
Excuse me, Wendy leaving her alibi? Excuse me, did you just say Wendy leaving her alibi? Now you're saying it wasn't an alibi. You're referring to it as an alibi. Not what she was doing that morning. It was her alibi. The TV repair was her alibi, said Charlie on the phone to his mother. When he described what she was doing that morning, the word that came to mind was alibi. They're going to be so dumb if they don't question both Donna and Charlie and maybe Wendy about that.
A coincidence. That's what I hear you say.
Oh, that the repairman was there that day?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that is a coincidence for sure. There's a couple of coincidences in this case.
I'm sorry, I cut you off.
I said there's a couple of coincidences in this case. I mean, she had people send her an email to go buy a bottle of Bullet bourbon for their Stock the Bar party, and she was driving to a liquor store to buy a bottle of Bullet bourbon on that day at that time. And her friend sent the email, and you have the email and evidence. Like, is that a coincidence? Yeah, coincidences happen.
And the you might not be the right Katie talk. That doesn't seem to really fit with your theory of the case, does it? What was your explanation for that? Why you kept saying you might not be the right Katie? I mean, she's definitely the right Katie, right?
Absolutely. She knew it was. I was implying it was her. I was just trying to say, I'm not setting you up, but I need your help.
On call B, you call your mom back and you say, probe her a little bit, and ultimately you say, you think someone's trying to blackmail you? That's crazy. Why does it sound like this is something that's new and unfathomable to you at that moment?
Well, because I wasn't even following what my mom was talking about on the first call. And on the second call, when she shocked me when she said that. And I'd been extorted before. And her saying to bring cash, everything just didn't sound right.
Could we play clip 4, please? This is from Dolce.
Sorry, from what?
Clip 4 from Dolce.
Okay.
Even if they had any evidence, the first words out of your mouth on this clip, even if they had any evidence. No, strike. The quote is, if you say, if they had any evidence, we'd have already gone to the airport. And I know you already testified about this, but does an innocent person say, if they had any evidence?
Right. Katie's saying it's the police, and I'm saying that we're innocent. They're not going to have any evidence to show we were part of something that we were part of. If we had any part of this, we'd be going to the airport right now.
Isn't it true, doctor, that they're not going to have any evidence because you were careful?
No, because we weren't a part of this.
You were smart.
No, we weren't a part of this.
You walled yourself off
I
from
was
the
sure
killers.
they're not going to have evidence to show I did something I didn't do. So we're not running to the airport.
And you're untouchable, right?
No, we didn't do a murder. I wasn't part of a murder. There's no reason to run to the airport.
In the next clip, you're discussing what's going to happen if.
So casual. I wasn't part of a murder. If someone accused me of being part of a murder, I'd be pissed. So angry. It's almost like he has the attitude that it's not such a bad thing to be accused of.
If this person that did the bump goes to the police, and you're going through all these scenarios, these possibilities.
Wait, if he goes to the police?
Yeah, the blackmailer goes to the police. They're going to say, where's the weapon? He's not going to know. He's just going to have hearsay, basically. Someone told me they did it. It's not going to be enough to get the investigation anywhere. Why are you thinking through the possibility of the blackmailer going to the cops if the blackmailer doesn't have any dirt on you to take to the cops?
I wasn't thinking about the blackmailer. What I was trying to say is I don't know anything about Sigfredo. I don't know anything about this crime. I was trying to tell her that I'm harmless. I don't have any knowledge of what went on. Like, the last thing I wanted is that now that she's saying it's the police, is someone to come and kill me and think I'm some kind of loose end. So that's why I'm saying that.
But that's not what you're saying. You're saying if this is a person that Luis Rivera ran his mouth to and they go to the police, it's going to be worth zero because they're not going to know anything other than, hey, my brother told me this.
I don't know if I was saying with someone who knows Luis Rivera. I was trying to make a point that I don't know anything.
And then you suggest what they would have to do is get him to wear a wire and get the person to confess. And that's probably what this could be, an effort to do, right?
Well, they're thinking that we were part of a murder. So this was the same thing I said before, is that this is their theory. So this is a police tactic, and it could be either a bad guy or the police. And this is how they're pursuing you.
Exactly. So as long as you keep your mouth shut, you can get away with murder, right?
No, not at all.
Isn't that what you told Ryan Fitzpatrick?
No, Ryan Fitzpatrick is someone who stole over $500,000 from me.
That's not my question, sir.
Sorry.
Did you say that to Ryan Fitzpatrick?
No, never at all.
Why do you go in?
Ryan Fitzpatrick stole $500,000 from him. But they don't want to pay $5. I don't know.
Into so much detail about rental car examples. Let's strike that. Can you agree that the Prius, you knew that the police were looking for a Prius at the time you met at this Dolce Vita restaurant?
I think it had been released at that time.
All right, and you heard the recording. You're arguing. Let's play the clip. This is going to be clip. I think let's play 7 and 8, please. Dolce.
Because the fact is, like, even if, let's say, he's in my car, and then I go ahead and I get fine, and I go, better days in the car, I go, yeah, she was in my car, she got out, and she did this horrible crime. Okay, they come and they get the DNA in the car, they go, oh, she was in my car. No, he's had a car for doing this guy, he and I got out of the car. He has nothing to do with the murder. Outside of that, there's no evidence. And, if you have a car and you can link this person to right in that car, okay. But you have to prove that they were also driving that day and rented it and let it to a friend. What if you rented the car and I asked, hey, can I borrow for the weekend? I'll bring you back on Tuesday. You go, yeah, sure. So you rented the car. You've been in that car. I drive into fucking Orlando. I rob McDonald's in Orlando. I come back and I go, and you go, okay, thanks. And if you rented it, well, what if you were fucking out all weekend and you didn't even know I took your car? I did something and I brought it back. Okay. My point is, I don't have any knowledge. Evidently, this person is either pretending to or does. I don't want someone paying to visit Erin.
Sounds like you're saying even if they track down the Prius, even if there's DNA or fingerprints in the Prius, meaning like they can link someone to the Prius, that's not going to be enough evidence to make any arrests in this case. Is that what you're saying?
No, not at all. What I'm doing is I'm restating.
You've answered my question.
Can I give you an
On redirect, you'll have an opportunity.
Look,
my question was.
One moment. We're not just wildly arguing. Mr. Adelson, please answer the question.
Okay.
I can just ask you a yes or no question.
Please allow me to answer your question.
Okay.
Can I?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Help yourself out.
What I was saying to Katie is that the information she just told me in the car about Sigfredo not being there when the crime was committed, she told me that Sigfredo was high on drugs at the hotel and that Luis had rented a car and that he's the one who killed Dan. And I'm restating to her that I don't have any knowledge of what went on and that all I know is that Sigfredo wasn't even there when this happened. So that's what I'm restating to her.
That Sigfredo can't be caught even if he's connected to the crime, to the car?
I know that Sigfredo wasn't the one who killed Anna.
Okay. Wouldn't it be good for you, because you know now that Sigfredo is the extortionist, right? She just told you that in the car?
Sigfredo, yeah.
Okay. And wouldn't it be good for you if the police investigation into the Prius led to the arrest of the killers / extortionists?
If they arrested the people that killed Dan,
Yeah.
I know the extortion would stop. As long as I kept my mouth shut, I'd be safe.
Right. So why are you trying to argue to her that like the car is not going to lead anywhere? They're not going to be able to do anything with the car.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that I know that Sigfredo wasn't the one who killed him.
Did you say on this recording, if they're a bad guy, there's two ways of dealing with it. Go ahead and contact the police. They'll contact him, the blackmailer, and arrange a setup. Take him down and he'll proffer 10 years and now tell us everything you know or else you're going to serve 10 years in prison. Next thing you know, this person is singing. He's calling out your name. My parents are going to have to tell the story of what happened. Singing about what? About the extortion?
No, I think you're reading it wrong. I know the audible is bad.
What would
are those the words?
Yes, sir. What would the extortionist, and now I'm referring to the one that contacted your mother.
The Latin King extortion.
Well, they're both Latin kings, right?
The second extortion.
What would they have to sing about?
The second extortion would be singing and talking about the first extortion, where they learned their information from.
Who cares? That doesn't have anything to do with you.
Well, when they catch the first extortion, Katie's tied to them and I'm tied to Katie. They're going to come talk to us, and we're going to be in danger when we tell them what happened. So I was saying if they catch the second, they're going to turn it on the first, and that's the same thing I said yesterday.
You gave very precise instructions to Catherine McBanois on what she was to say when she calls the phone number, right?
Yeah,
Did you do that?
Absolutely.
And then you say, quote, "You'd better kill him because he's going to be a big problem. And he knows who you are. If he can't do it, I'll have someone else do it." Aren't you telling her that if Garcia can't handle this problem and kill whoever's behind this, you will have someone else do it?
You're reading it totally wrong.
It's a yes or no question, sir.
No, you're wrong.
When Dan Markel's murder was taking too long to happen, didn't you tell Catherine McBanois that if she couldn't get it done, you would find someone else to do it?
No, I've never said that either.
And then you say in the recording, I'm back to Dolce now. Yeah, and guess what? When the effing police show up and there's a doctor, there's an oral surgeon standing there with a dead gang member in his effing driveway, they're not going to come down too hard on me. So you knew you'd be believed if you went to the police, right?
I didn't know I'd be believed, but I feared for my life.
And then you say, so help me God, if they fuck with my family, it's going to be fucking Nazi shit. Because this will be done. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Katie, I don't care what I spend, okay? I swear to God. What is Nazi shit?
That's an expression that Katie would use to describe someone that's going crazy. I think the Nazis were absolutely crazy people. So I'm saying I'm going to get somebody to go crazy on the guy that's trying to extort my mom for money. I'll pay someone to go threaten him and to scare him. I was not talking about.
Yeah, Nazis. He was just talking about scaring him because that's what you think of is. When you think of scaring, you think of Nazis. He's like such a slimy liar with an answer for everything. And he thought as long as he had an answer for everything, he would get off. But he came off as an arrogant, guilty guy who had tailored a story to the evidence. It wasn't a good answer. And that's what Donna was saying. And Charlie, if you listen to the after conviction tapes, they're like, well, we had a story, we had a explanation. All it has to be is a reasonable doubt. But your story has to be reasonable. It's not. That's what they thought it was. They'd meet reasonable doubt with these crazy explanations. Didn't work.
Killing anybody.
And thanks to everyone. I know this one is running long, but thanks for everyone who's hung out, going on 3 hours now. I really thought I'd get through this in like an hour and 40. I have no sense of how long it's going to take me to get through anything. And I have more stuff too for today. I'll save that for another time.
Well, you say the word kill. Yes?
No. Oh, when you're putting the words in my mouth, we can do that sentence.
Do you say the word kill?
I'm talking about if Sigfredo's coming after you, he's such a dangerous guy, you'd have to kill him to stop him. That's the only thing you could do. Not talking about killing the extorter. I'm talking second extortion.
Okay.
I'm saying that if Sigfredo's coming after you, the only thing that you could do is you'd have to kill him to stop it. I'm not talking about killing anybody. I'm talking about that's the only way that you could stop Sigfredo from coming after you is you would have to kill him. And that's exactly what I said there. You're wrong. That's exactly what I said.
All right, thank you. Nazis kill, right? Isn't that like their primary objective?
No, I think Nazis are insane, crazy people
That exterminate, right?
that kill. Yes, but they're crazy. That was an expression she would use, and that's when I used it to her. But basically saying I'm gonna have someone go crazy on this guy. I could have used the word crazy. I thought it was interchangeable.
Isn't what you're doing here in this portion of the tape feeling her out to make sure Garcia doesn't have any bad feelings toward you?
When I said it, yeah, I thought he could have been behind the second extortion. I think I've said that before.
And you go into like how your relationships didn't overlap, you never disrespected him, and you mentioned that, you know, you don't think that they, I assume you mean these other people, associates that have contacted your mom would want to mess with his connections, right? You remember?
Like you're talking about the copycat extortion.
Right. And then you ask if he's too far removed or can he still make a call? Are you referring to Garcia in that?
Yeah, exactly.
So can Garcia make a call to try to figure out who this is?
Could Garcia help stop the second extortion? Someone's doing a piggyback extortion on the first. That's exactly what I said.
On the topic of conversation for Catherine McBanoa, don't you say I look for things to do? I show you, that's the difference. You don't ask me for shit. You said all those things. Right?
Absolutely. That's brilliant. What I've been saying all along is that I didn't think she was part of this. So I was doing things to keep her happy from time to time. Ethan's birthday, I brought up there. I gave her $300. I helped her out with the car when her car was broken. For sure.
And then you say, listen, you giving somebody money is not an admission of any kind of guilt. Would paying the money have made her look guilty?
That's what she was saying to me. She said it's the police. You can't pay the police. They're going to think you were part of a murder and they're going to arrest you.
But if it was an extortionist, it could have created a monster, right?
And if you don't pay the extortionist, you could get killed.
So when
Or you
these
could keep getting
guys,
extorted.
I'm sorry, go
I
ahead.
said if you don't pay the extortionist, you could get killed, or you could keep getting extorted.
But your main concern was that if we pay, this guy will think I'm an ATM machine, right? He'll keep coming back again and again and again. Don't you articulate that to Catherine McBanoa?
If it was an extorter, that was one of the concerns. The other concern was not paying him and getting killed.
But what you say is, well, I don't remember the quote exactly. The main concern, what I'm most worried about, is that they're going to keep coming back for more, right?
I don't remember using the word the main concern.
But what you don't say in here is like what you or your homies have been doing to me for 2 years.
Of course not. I don't want her to think I'm setting her up.
Why are you explaining extortion and how extortion works to Catherine McBanoa?
In there?
Yeah.
Because I know.
But she knows too, doesn't she?
So I repeat myself. I do that.
You also explain it to your mother how extortion works, and she's has known about it for 2 years too, right?
From what I told her, yeah. I'm reminding her.
Then you say, if someone's messing with you, they're messing with me. And if someone's messing with me, they're messing with you. It's one and the same, right?
Yes, I said that.
You're in this together, right?
We're both innocent.
You were very obviously relieved on the wire when you came to the conclusion that this was law enforcement. Would you agree with that?
Very relieved, yeah.
All right. And at that same time that on the wire you're expressing relief, or I should say, shortly after all the relief expressed on the wire, we've got the arrest of Catherine McBanoa, right?
No.
No. Okay. Would you agree that it goes relief on the wire, then arrest of Catherine McBanoa?
Do you want to give me dates? Because Kathy was arrested 6 months later.
Okay.
The wire
Can we
was in
agree
April.
that
She was
you were
arrested in
very
October.
relieved on the wire and that 6 months later, Catherine McBanoa was arrested?
She was arrested 6 months later, correct?
And 6 months later, after you were completely relieved on the wire, you begin to exhibit these extreme behavior changes that we've heard about. And what is your explanation for that?
Because I thought I'd be falsely arrested.
Strangely, Donna's not worried about that. She'll just willingly come back when she has to turn herself in.
Did you encourage Catherine Magbanua to reconcile with Garcia? That's a yes or no.
Yes, for sure I did.
Was that a good decision for her or a good decision for you?
Neither.
You've heard your lawyer say that you talk a lot. Do you agree with that?
Yes, I do.
And you talk a lot on the wire, right?
Yes, I do.
Do you agree you're not a direct person?
My direct person?
There's a lot of circular talking on the wire.
I mean, however you want to describe my mannerisms of talking, you're welcome to describe them.
I'll do that in closing. What I'm asking is, do you agree that you are like that?
I think at times I'm direct, for sure.
Do you have a way of saying things without really saying it?
No, I think I'm pretty direct with things.
Do you think you can talk your way out of this?
No, I don't. I'm not part of a murder.
Who are they going to believe, right? An oral surgeon or a gangster?
That's extorting me in my driveway and coming and threatening me?
You're untouchable, right?
No, I'm not part of this murder. Yeah,
there was a lot of talk about going to the police on the wire, which I think we've well established did not happen. But you've always gone to the police before, right?
I've had other things that have gone to the police for, yeah.
You've gone to the police in reference to something to do with your child's mother? Yes or no?
Yes.
You've gone to the police when you were threatened to be blackmailed over something with a woman back in 2015. Remember that?
No, I didn't go to the police.
Did you send a letter from your lawyer indicating that describing her actions as an attempted shakedown and indicating that not only will Dr. Adelson never pay a settlement, he will undoubtedly prevail and seek attorney's fees against your client?
Right. That's a civil complaint, and somebody was making an unfounded civil complaint and threatening filing a lawsuit, and an attorney handled the civil complaint. The police were never notified, but it was a civil suit.
It was somebody trying to shake you down for money.
It was a unfounded claim from a civil suit to me and another dentist that it was involving.
It was a claim that potentially had criminal implications as well, wasn't it, doctor?
For me?
Yes.
No. There was never a police investigation with that.
In 2018, did you report an aggravated assault where a vehicle was driving aggressively and narrowly avoided striking you?
I had a reporter almost kill my 10-week-old puppy dog that I was walking because I was going for a walk in the morning and he was stalking outside my house.
In 2018, did you report an aggravated assault where a vehicle was driving aggressively and narrowly avoided striking you?
He was more able to hit my dog too, but yeah.
Do your nephews deserve to know the whole truth about who killed their father?
Yeah, now they do.
Do Danny's parents deserve to know what happened to their son?
Absolutely.
And you say you knew. I mean, you now say you knew a big piece of what happened, right?
Yes.
Do you feel bad about not volunteering that to Danny's parents?
I feel a sense of relief that now I was able to tell everybody what finally happened.
Yesterday, almost 10 years later, right?
Yeah.
And that's because you didn't just know a big piece of it. You were a big piece of it, weren't you, doctor?
I was extorted and I knew a lot, yeah.
1 moment, please, Your Honor.
Okay. He had to hold on to it.
Did y'all follow?
For all this time. Oh, poor Charlie Adelson. So that is the end of his cross. And some of it applies just to Charlie, but a lot of it Donna's going to have to answer for too, because she was the one writing those checks. So how she's going to deal with that. My son told me I was extorted, and I don't know. It's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. That means also, if she's going this way, it also means Donna knew who murdered Dan Markel and didn't tell anyone for years and years either. Hard for a jury to believe. Depends who they pick. And she seems to know she's up against it. I don't know if they're going to appeal on any of these issues. I mean, she was waiving all of them. She wanted to keep Dan Rashbaum. So I don't know if she has even pretrial any appellate issues. So I'm going to end the way I always end these episodes, with a victim impact statement. This one is from Charlie Adelson's trial. It starts out, Dear Judge Everett, thank you for considering the victim impacts. Thank you for considering this victim impact statement as you determine the sentence to impose on Dan Markel's murder. I urge you to impose the maximum sentence available under the law. I first met Dan in 1997 on a bus in Jerusalem. Over the years that followed, we became very close friends, so much so that he served as a groomsman at my wedding, and I served as best man at his. That evening, as I waited under the wedding canopy for Dan to walk down the aisle, I never could have imagined that his marriage would end with an act of such horrific depravity. The three things most important to Dan above all else were family, family, and family. Yet because of his murder, his two children, whom Dan loved above all else, have been cut off not only from their father, but also from his and their family. I cannot know the grief, confusion, anger, and terror that they must feel from losing their father in this way. I am unsure whether they will be given an opportunity to submit their own victim impact statements, so I would like to spend a moment telling the court about Dan's relationship with them. Nothing was more important to Dan than his children. As a professor, he enjoyed the benefits of a flexible workday, and he used that flexibility to ensure that he was an integral part of their daily lives, taking them to daycare and school, picking them up, making them dinner, reading to them, and tucking them in at night. He was so proud of them, and he wanted most of all for them to grow up with a strong sense of the values most important to him, being committed to family, having a moral compass, and living a life of decency and kindness, having a strong Jewish identity and appreciation for Jewish tradition, and having the work ethic and perseverance to achieve their full potential. His murder has destroyed their family, taught his children at a tender age that wickedness can destroy a life of decency and hard work in the instance it takes for a bullet to travel the length of a gun, and has taken away their role model for Jewish manhood. There were many things I admired greatly about Dan, but perhaps his most extraordinary quality was his ability to connect with and grow close to so many people. Woody Allen once said that 90% of life is showing up. Dan took that seriously. He made it a priority to be present for friends at times of joy and at times of grief, at weddings, baby namings, and funeral. And through that commitment, he forged deep bonds with friends. He was always the first person to call on a birthday or anniversary before my own parents, and during difficult times, called frequently to show support. For me personally, Dan shared the moments of greatest joy as well as those of greatest sorrow. One of the images of Dan that will stay with me forever is the exuberance and sheer joy he shared while dancing the traditional hora dance at my own wedding. And he was a pillar of support when my wife and I were grieving the loss of my brother-in-law. More than any other friend, he called on a regular basis to check in, just to listen, or to offer words of love and support. One of the particular tragedies of Dan's murder is that Dan is not here to comfort us. Dan was also a connector. He loved to help other people find a mentor or a job or a spouse by introducing them to other members of his large circle of friends. He deserves credit for several marriages. Dan was also generous with his time. We were in graduate school at the same time, and he spent countless hours helping me work through my thoughts for my dissertation. In fact, he may be the only person who ever read and commented on multiple drafts of the tome, and he did so at his insistence. Is it tome? I think it's tome. On multiple drafts of the tome, and he did so at his insistence. He understood that others did not have the same unusual capabilities in this realm, and did not expect. He understood that others did not have the same unusual capabilities in this realm and did not expect reciprocity. Above all, Dan was an example for all who knew him of the power of grieving. He gave his love and his friendship, and through doing so, built relationships and communities that now are torn at their center. The court should impose the maximum sentence on the intellectual author of his murder. Respectfully submitted, Matthew Price. That is what I have for today. Let me just hit a few of these. Bossy Texas chick. Yeah, 3 hours. Thank you, Roberta. 3 hours, 23 minutes. That's what we're at now. Thank you, Bossy Texas chick, for supporting the channel. Appreciate it. Can't do it without you guys. Debbie Martin, prayers for the Markel, Georgia, and Sarah, and poor Markel boys. Yeah, I agree. That's what I have for today. Please hit the thumbs up on your way out, guys. Support the channel. You can send me a Venmo, buy me a coffee, or become a Patreon member and get access to content you won't find anywhere else. The links are in the description of this episode. Thank you all for hanging in with me on this very long episode. I will be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. Have a great night, everybody.
What a stitch you're in. You plotted a murder 'cause you wanted to raise your daughter's kid. Tallahassee is just a stop on the way to civilization. Miami is where all the fancy people are. The TV is about 5. You can't get away from that. Two-toe, tay-toe, hoo-ho, you know the guy you pay, and you can't get away from that. Oh, Donna, what a stitch you're in. You thought jail was just for the little people, but now you're sold blankets with the locked-up crew. You're a grandmother in lockdown, and your one-way ride to freedom you blew. What a stitch you're in. Your family are exiled from the social circles you swam in. We all know you never made that banana bread or offered to babysit for Dan, but you'll soon be making license plates and thinking about what could have been.